Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is the final commentary of the 2022-2023 season, and we are finishing with the Europa League final between Sevilla and the serial Europa League winners and Roma, who have had recent success in Europe in winning the first ever Europa Conference League last season. Both sides come into this final in lacklustre form. Sevilla have no wins in their last three games since their semi-final second leg victory against Juventus, which got them to the final today in Budapest. And for Mourinho's men, it is no wins in their last 7 league games, with their last win in Serie A coming back in mid-April to Udinese. Sevilla had to go through extra time to beat the Italian giants Juventus through an Eric Lamela goal 5 minutes into the extra time period. One goal over 2 legs was enough for Roma. In the first leg, it was a goal through Eduardo Bove, who netted in the box to give Roma a lead to protect in the second leg, and protect it they did, facing 23 shots from Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen, and they were only able to manufacture one of their own shots, but it was enough to see them through and get into back-to-back European finals. So, for this final in Budapest at the Pukas Arena, will it be Sevilla making it 7 Europa League titles in their history, not losing a final previously in the other 6, or will it be Roma gaining Champions League football through a victory tonight under Jose Mourinho, who's fighting to win his 6th European title, and he's also not lost any of his last previous 5 European finals. It's a unbelievable set of permutations in this game. Both sides have got unbelievable records in Europe finals. Like Mourinho, for example, he has won his last 5 finals in a row. Sevilla haven't lost a Europa League final yet, winning their previous 6 and having the most Europa League wins out of any club in the history of the competition. It's just, but one of those has got to break. One of those records has got to go for one of the sides, and it'll just be interesting to see, which side takes it, because, like I said, both of these, April was a very good month for Sevilla. They went unbeaten in April, winning 4 games in the league and drawing 1, gaining 13 points from 15 and kind of lifting them away from near the bottom half of the of La Liga. But for Mourinho and Roma, it's been a really, really poor last couple of months. Like I mentioned before, just then, no win in the league since mid-April. No wins in the last 7. Their last win was this Leverkusen first leg victory. Obviously, they didn't win the second leg. They drew it 0-0, which was enough to get them through. They've failed to score in 3 of their last 6 games as well, one of them being at home, 2 of them away. They've just really, really stumbled, and they're quite a way off now getting. I don't think they can get Champions League football now as well. If we have a quick look at the Serie A table for Roma, they currently do sit in 6th, and AC Milan are on 67 points, and Juventus are 1 point behind them in 7th. So if Roma aren't careful, if Roma drop points at the weekend and Juventus win, then it could be Europa Conference League football again for Roma next season if they don't win the final today. So it's a huge game. Sevilla have got no chance of European football next year if they don't win tonight. They're currently sat in 11th place on 49 points. Really poor season for them. It has, especially compared to last season as well for Sevilla. They finished 4th last season, obviously getting into the Champions League, which they were knocked out in the group stage. They had Manchester City in the group, they had Borussia Dortmund in the group, and they had Copenhagen. We were able to pick up 3rd spot, which meant that they did drop into the Europa League, and they've beaten the likes of Fenerbahce, PSV in the playoff round, and then Fenerbahce in the last 16, and then quarter-final victory against Manchester United, obviously coming back from 2 behind in the first leg to level it up for the second leg, where they were able to win 3-0, and then obviously beating Juventus as well, another Italian opposition, drawing the first leg away from home and taking it back to Sevilla and winning in extra time 2-1. So, despite both sides having pretty poor league seasons, more so Sevilla, not even finishing in the top half by the looks of it in La Liga, they need this. They really need this, because either way, Roma are going to get European football next year, if that's the Conference League or Europa League. But Sevilla, if they don't win this tonight, they're getting no European football next year at all. And for a club like Sevilla, who have won previously 6 Europa Leagues in 2006, 2007, 2014, 2015, 2016, then 2020 previously against Inter Milan and Antonio Conte, Italian opposition again. A club like that you feel like should be in Europe, and if they're not, it's going to be, it's going to be a letdown for them and the fans as well, because they shouldn't be a mid-table side in in La Liga. They've got some fantastic players. They've got an ageing squad, in fairness. They've got the likes of Jesus Navas at right back, who's 37, Fernando 35, and Rakitic 35, both in the holding midfield spots. So they've got experience, but with experience also comes a bit of ageing, and you need to get that. You need to get out some of the older players, even though they bring vast experience. Anyone remembers Bruce Grobbelaar versus AC Roma 18? I can't say that. I'm too young for that. That was way before my time. But both sides are down the tunnel, about to appear very shortly, so I'll go through the lineups in a little bit more detail for you. It's going to give you a little stats about each player. We're just under 4 minutes from kickoff. We've got a pretty much full English officiating lineup. The main ones, I think the only person who isn't English in the whole officiating team, it's something to do. It's not the assistant VAR. It's something to do with VAR. He's German. I'm not sure what his role is, but I think he's just there to make sure it all works, basically, and makes it all click. We've got referee Anthony Taylor, who was actually, in fact, the referee in the 2020 Super Cup final for when it was Bayern Munich versus Sevilla, when Sevilla won the Europa League in the 2019-2020 season. They obviously faced the Champions League winners Bayern, who beat PSG in their final. They didn't come out victorious that day. I do believe it took Bayern Munich extra time, though, to win that one. And he's got his assistant referees of Gary Beswick and Adam Nunn. Fourth official is Michael Oliver, who was recently the referee for the Luton Coventry Championship playoff final. The VAR is Stuart Atwell, and assistant VAR is Chris Kavanagh. All English officiating lineup, which is interesting because I think they're all absolutely... They need improvement, the English officials. So the fact that they've been able to grab a Europa League final between them all is quite impressive, to be honest. So I will go through both lineups. This game is available on YouTube to watch on the BT Sport YouTube channel, but I will be a bit further ahead than that because I'm not watching it on YouTube. I'm watching it through my Virgin TV box. So if you want to try and link it up, maybe pause my stream and link it up with the YouTube stream if that's what you're watching it on, you can do so. But yeah, the game is available, so you can always link up the two, their stream and my stream if you would like. Right, let's go through both sides. We're going to go with Sevilla first, who are labelled as the home side. Yacine Bruno is in net, or is known as Bono, which I'll be calling him. He's the Moroccan. He was part of the Moroccan side to reach the semi-finals of the World Cup. Jesus Navas, the captain at right back. He spent 13 years of his career at Sevilla at the beginning before joining Manchester City for 4 years and then returning to Sevilla back in 2017. Two centre-backs is Loic Badi and Nemanja Gudel, the Serbian, who also made the Serbian World Cup squad, made one start, and that was against Brazil in their opener. And Alex Telles, the Brazilian on loan from Manchester United, is at left back. Two holding midfielders of Fernando and Rakitic, like I mentioned before, both at the age of 35. Just ahead of them in the hole behind the striker is Oliver Torres. He's got one La Liga title, and that came with Atletico Madrid back in the 2013-2014 season. On the right-hand side, we've got Lucas Campos, who's got the one goal in the Europa League so far this season. That came against PSV in the playoff round. It was a fantastic turn and finish off the post, in fact, from the Argentine. On the left is Brian Hill, on loan from Tottenham, bought by Tottenham from Sevilla back in 2021 for £21 million, but he returns to the club on loan. He's been there since January. He's got 2 goals, and they both came in the league. And up front is Youssef Nasiri. He's been at the club now for 3.5 years. This season, he's got a decent goal-scoring record, 18 goals in all competitions this season in 47 appearances. He's got the 4 goals in the Europa League, 1 against PSV, 2 against Manchester United in the second leg, and he also scored the first goal for Sevilla in the semi-final game between Juventus at Juventus' stadium, the Allianz Arena. And that is the starting 11. As you can see, I'm not going to go through the bench because it's quite the list. It's 12 players, but you can see the bench in the bottom left corner of your screen for Sevilla. For Roma, they're going to Rui Patricio in goal, making his 105th Roma appearance. A back three of Chris Smalling, Gianluca Mancini, Roger Ibanez is in the back three as well. with Zeki Celik, Cristante, Nemanja Matic, and Leonardo Spinazzola making the flat four. And then the front three is Paulo Dybala, who's rushed back from injury. Tammy Abraham and Lorenzo Pellegrini is the front three. And the bench is in the bottom right. Had to rush through that a little bit because we're getting kick-off. Roma kicking from right to left. Sevilla left to right. It's Roma to kick off with Dybala, sending it back to Mancini, who would diagonally switch it towards Pellegrini, loses out to Fernando, finds its way up for Sevilla, but they lose out. And it's now Mancini again, goes to the right wing back, Zeki Celik, who's having to battle with Brian Hill, gets in towards Dybala. He's tackled strongly by Gudel, the Serbian centre-back, and it's going to be a Roma throw-in halfway inside the Sevilla half as the Italians try to get on the front foot early. Thrown down the line, Dybala battling, he loses out, but it falls back to him in the end. He's tackled strongly by Alex Telles. Another throw-in for Roma as they get further into the Sevilla half. And it looks like we could be getting a long throw-in here from the Turkish international. Zeki Celik, signed in the summer for £6 million from Lille, as he throws it in towards Cristante. He battles with it through Alex Telles, and that'll be a corner. First corner kick of the game, and it falls to Jose Mourinho's side. Longish thrown in by Celik, and Campos was the one to head behind. And it'll be Lorenzo Pellegrini to go over to the corner flag to take. The Roma captain, Roma-born player, making his 240th appearance for the club. He's got all three centre-backs in there to aim for. Be a right-footed outswinger. In it goes. It's a good ball in. It's a header won by Gudel, who stays down with his head. Both plays down with head injuries. Both medical staff is going to be brought in. It's Ibanez and Gudel both going in for it. Both seem like they've been slightly hurt there, but possibly okay to continue. They've both gone for a fair ball, and they've just slightly clashed heads a little bit there. The number 3 for Roma and the number 6 for Sevilla. Roger Ibanez is already back to his feet. The Brazilian, who spent 18 months on loan at Roma from January 2020 to June 2021 before signing permanently from Atalanta in that summer after he ended his loan spell. And for Nemanja Gudel, I know it's spelt Gudelj, but doing some research on a lot of it because I couldn't find out how to pronounce his name. The J is silent, so it is just Gudel. He's Serbian. He's usually a midfielder, but he's been playing a lot at centre-back because they've had some shortages at centre-back Sevilla at the back end of the season. They have got three centre-backs on the bench, but 2 of them have been injured recently. Marcal, the Brazilian, he's been out for a lot of the season. He's had thigh and hamstring issues. Tanguy Nianzou as well, who was signed from Bayern Munich for €16 million in the summer. He's also had injury struggles as of late. His last appearance was in mid-April. So he's had to fill in at centre-back, and he's done a pretty decent job as both players are back on their feet. I think it was a free kick given in the end for Sevilla, and they get it up the field. I think it's Matic to head away, out for a throw-in for Sevilla as they want to get their foot on the ball for the first time in the game. Jesus Navas throws it to Campos, back to Jesus Navas. He goes back to the halfway line to Loic Badi for Sevilla, joined on loan in January from Stade Rennais. Switch out to Jesus Navas, the number 16 for Sevilla. The 37-year-old Spaniard, he's won a Euros and a World Cup in his time as he gets an early cross in, headed back towards the Spaniard, who tries to work it to Campos on the right-hand side. He beats Spinazzola to it, goes down the channel looking for Oliver Torres, overhit, and Nemanja Matic can see it behind for a Roma goal kick, as both sides have had little opportunities to find their way into the box, find their way forward, getting balls in the box. Nothing has come of any of the attacks so far early on, but both sides showing they're willing to attack and take the game to their opponents, as we'll have a goal kick here with Rui Patricio, who was at Sporting Lisbon for 18 years from 2000 to 2018 before leaving for Wolves, where he spent 3 years of his career, making 10 appearances for them in the Europa League. I think he actually faced Sevilla once. I think it was in the quarter-finals when Sevilla won the tournament, beating Inter Milan in the final. In the quarters, when they were doing one-off games because of the COVID season, they actually beat Wolves 1-0, and I'm pretty sure Rui Patricio was in goal. As Roma have got a throw-in deep inside the Sevilla half. They've spent a lot of their attacks early on down their right-hand side, where Zeki Celik, the right back, getting a lot of freedom. As he gives away the ball there, Fernando can clear away for Sevilla. Only as Chris Smalling, who heads it forward. Flicked on by Cristante. Stopped by Fernando. It's now Tellez to Rakitic, slowing the game down, and they're working out to the right back position to Jesus Navas for Sevilla. Clips it down the line, looking for En-Nesyri against Chris Smalling. Loses out to the Englishman. It's now with Ibanez. Tries to go down the line towards Spinazzola. It's a short ball. Jesus Navas clears out for a throw-in for Roma inside their own half. A spicy start to the Europa League final. It's got the Europa Conference League winners of last year. Done with Jose Mourinho. He's looking as well for his third Europa League title. He won one with Porto in 2003 before winning the Champions League with them in 2004. So, and he's looking to be the most decorated manager in European football in terms of European titles. He's on 5 currently. This will be number 6 if he can do it tonight. Ball in behind for Tammy Abraham. Left-hand side of the box. Flicks it into towards Dybala. It's a header won by Alex Tellez, and it can be calmed down by Jesus Navas on the ball in the defensive third for Sevilla. Gets down there to a Campos. Once more to Oliver Torres. Enters the Roma half. Has to turn and look back towards his own goal. Plays it across instead to Rakitic. The Croatian's got a lot of room inside the Roma half. He's got options to his left, and he'll go to Alex Tellez, the left back. On loan from Manchester United. Finds Fernando, form with Manchester City. Goes back to Loic Baddy, the centre-back, who works it to Jesus Navas. Oliver Torres. It's now with Jesus Navas again. He's got 3 Europa Leagues coming with Sevilla in 2006, 2007, and was part of the squad in 2020. They were able to beat Wolves, Manchester United in the build-up to the final, where they beat Inter Milan 3-2. Good run here on the left-hand side by Fernando, and he wins a corner for his side. Had to be blocked there by Zeki Celik, the Turkish right wing-back. It's a good run from Fernando in a left-wing position, 35-year-old, not usually on that side of the pitch. The Brazilian, who's yet to score in the Europa League. This is his 38th appearance in the competition. So we've had a corner for Roma. We've now got a corner for Sevilla. It will be Ivan Rakitic to take. He just had something thrown towards him, so he just walked away from the corner. Paulo Dybala just walking towards that corner where the ball is, and he's just telling his supporters just to relax and calm down. No need to throw anything at the opponents. There's Dybala and Rakitic just share a high five there as the Croatian will go back to take the in-swinging corner. It's the first for Sevilla. Possibly a chance to test Rui Patricio. He dummies the short corner. He then whips it in towards the box. Header won by Tammy Abraham. And Roma can push out. He's now back with Sevilla on the halfway line with Alex Tellez. He's got Jesus Navas to his right, and he'll use the experienced Spaniard. He'll go down the line. He's got Spinazzola near him. So he's been forced backwards to the halfway line to Alex Tellez in a right back position. Nemanja Gudel, Serbian centre-back for Sevilla, back in position, bringing out from the back. Finds Rakitic down the line towards Brian Hill, dispossessed, and Roma can break. Paulo Dybala on the halfway line. He's stopped illegally by Nemanja Gudel, and that'll be a free kick for Roma. Dybala down, holding his ankle. He's not started any of the last 8 for Roma in the league. That was back in early April. Didn't play any minutes against Leverkusen in the second leg. He has struggled with injury. And the injury he's recovering from is an ankle injury. He's not fully recovered. He picked it up at the end of back end of April. And he's not played any minutes in his last 4 in all competitions. So he's possibly being risked by Jose Mourinho, Paulo Dybala. Possibly thinking about playing him for maybe the first hour and then bringing him off, maybe knowing that he won't be able to play the full 90 or possibly 120, as a ball through by Pellegrini towards Dybala has been cut out by the goalkeeper Bono. And it's Sevilla back in possession. We're just under 10 minutes in. It's a lively start for both sides as Jesus Navas clips it down the channel. No Sevilla man in sight to chase that one, and it will fall all the way through to Portuguese international Rui Patricio, who's now making his 51st appearance in all competitions, the goalkeeper. 6 clean sheets in 13 Europa League games this season. Ball through, finds Pellegrini. He's dropped slightly deeper for the ball for Roma, inside his own half. He's now to the left to Spinazzola. Stanley Matic signed in the summer on a free from Manchester United. He's worked plenty of times under Jose Mourinho. It's his 208th game under the Portuguese manager as Roma lose possession through Zeki Celik, the right wing back. It's now on the halfway line with Sevilla, with Mr. Playmaker Ivan Rakitic, the Croatian. Spent 3 years at Sevilla earlier on in his career before joining Barcelona, where he was able to win the Champions League back in 2015. Jesus Navas down the line to Ocampos. Spent the first half of the season on loan at Ajax. He loses the ball as he tries to play it towards Fernando. It's now with Matic again in the Roma half. Cristante works it out wide right to Celik, the right wing back. Gets there ahead of Alex Telles. He's in the Sevilla half. He's tackled by the Brazilian. And it'll be a throw in for Roma. Absolutely bargain of a sign in the right wing back. If he did just suffer any buffer in there, I do apologise. Hopefully it's all smooth again. We should be okay now. Apologies about any buffer in there as the ball's been switched out to Dybala on the right hand side. He's one-on-one with Alex Telles. He gets the ball inside the box to Celik, pulls it back, Spinazzola, big save Bono, hooked away by Jesus Navas. First big chance of the game. It falls Roma's way. It's the left wing back with the opportunity. It was a good save by the Moroccan. It's probably one you would expect him to make. Still a good save nonetheless. Great build-up down the right-hand side between Dybala and Celik, who got the ball across towards Spinazzola. Unmarked in the box. Swung at it with his weaker right foot. He got good contact on it. And he forced the diving save from Bono, the Moroccan. And it's still 0-0, but it's Roma with the first big chance of the game. Sevilla at the back with Goodell. Short ball. Spinazzola picks it up. Gets it into Tammy Abraham. Lays it back to Nemanja Matic. Looks for a ball in behind towards Pellegrini. It's deflected towards him, but Bono's out to collect. Sevilla suffering some scares from Roma in the last couple of minutes. And it's the Moroccan goalkeeper to kick it out of his hands towards the Sevilla right. Ocampos loses the header to Ibanez. Navas, short ball, intercepted by Matic only as far as Bade. Finds Fernando, loses out to Matic in the Roma half. Looking for a pass and he has to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. The experienced midfielder, and he lumps it forward towards Tammy Abraham. Header won by Bade. As far as Ocampos. Torres, Fernando, out to Brian Hill. On the halfway line is Alex Telles. Well settled down by Sevilla because they just come under some threats there from the Roma attack. Fernando. Sends it to the right hand side again to Jesus Navas. Not rushing anything here. Sevilla just calming things down. Who of course came through into this competition by being knocked out of the Champions League group stages in third place. But to get to this point they've had to beat RB Salzburg, Real Sociedad. Sorry, wrong team. They've had to beat PSV, Fenerbahce, Manchester United and Juventus to get to this point. Sevilla. Ball down the channel, had to be dealt with by Chris Smalling, throwing for Sevilla deep in the Roma half. Quickly taken in the box towards Oliver Torres, met by the challenge of Matic, and you can see it behind for a Roma goal kick. Tried to take a quick one there. Sevilla looking for Oliver Torres. One change as well for Sevilla to the team that beat Juventus in that second leg. And it's at left back because Acuna, the left back, Marcus Acuna was sent off in the extra time period. So it's Alex Telles who has to come in. So like for like swap. Patricio with the goal kick up towards Cristante. They lose out, but Roma regain possession. So now with Ibanez. Out to wing back Spinazzola. Looking for Tammy Abraham. Headed away by Bade. Chested down to Jesus Navas by Oliver Torres. He's thumped it clear towards Chris Smalling, who heads back to his own keeper, Rui Patricio. Roma at the back with the ball. Like I mentioned before, they failed to score in 3 of their last 6 games. Not one since the first leg against Bayer Leverkusen. So worrying stats for Roma. Not one in their last 7 league games as well. But Tammy Abraham with a bit of skill on this left-hand side. Try to take on a Campos. Tries the 1-2 spin at Zola. Can't regain the second ball. And it's now Sevilla on the ball. And they're getting a free kick as I think Tammy Abraham just pulled back Oliver Torres as he lost it. 15 minutes in, one big chance so far came to the feet of Spinazzola for Roma in the box from a Celik pullback. These two sides did meet in the run that Sevilla had to win the Europa League back in 2020. It was the round of 16 fixture and it was 2-0 to Sevilla that day. Reguilon scored, the left back, formerly of the likes of Tottenham and Real Madrid, and En-Nesyri, who plays today, he also played and scored in that game in the 44th minute. It was done by half-time, that game. As we're back underway, Sevilla on the ball, switching out to the right back, Jesus Navas. Gets it down the line to a Campos, keeps it in on the far right-hand side. We're now in the Roma half. He's been pressed by Spinazzola. He plays it inside to the Brazilian Fernando. Sees a ball wide left and he plays it to another Brazilian and Alex Telles. Bringing it forward, laying it off to Brian Hill. Now back inside to Loic Baddy. Gudel. Forward to Fernando. Sevilla keeping possession currently. As they build from the back, it's Oliver Torres. To right back Navas. Goes back to Baddy, number 44. Diagonal switch looking for Telles. Battles with it with Zeki Celik and there's a foul in there. Celik's been caught by Telles as they both went for the ball aerially. Alex Telles pleading his innocence, but Zeki Celik definitely felt the contact. He stayed down the Turkish international. No, not a lot in it. He's making a lot of that, the right wing back. They've both gone for it. No, not a lot in that at all, really. I think he's bought that, the right wing back, from Anthony Taylor, the referee. Sevilla, for their last league game at the weekend, they've got Real Sociedad away, who have already gained a top 4 spot in Champions League football for next season. And Roma have got Spezia at home, where Spezia do need a win to try and stay up in Serie A. They're level on points with the team taking up the last relegation spots. That's a big game for Spezia, so it won't be an easy one for Roma. And the fact they haven't won any of their last 7 league games means that Spezia might have a chance at the weekend. As Zeki Celik has stayed down, the Turkish international did win Ligue 1 and the French Super Cup back in the 2020-2021 season with Lille. Signed in the summer, signed a 4-year contract with Roma, the 26-year-old. Who has 1 goal in the Europa League previously, and that came for Lille in the season where they won those 2 trophies, and he scored against Celtic as well. As he's back on his feet after gaining some medical attention, it'll be a free kick for Roma. We're just over 18 minutes in. It's been a lively start. Both teams looking strong and looking calm and composed. It's just who will be the stronger out of the two sides come the end of the 90 minutes and possibly 120 as Patricio sends it forward, headed back forward by Rakitic. Now Mancini looking out wide towards Dybala, can't keep it in play. Throwing for Sevilla just inside their own half. And that'll be taken by Alex Telles, who got the 1 goal last season. He's yet to score this season so far. And here is Bono, the Moroccan goalkeeper. Had been on the bench for the last 10 league games before starting and playing the last league game for Sevilla, which was a 2-1 loss to Real Madrid. It's usually Dimitrovic in goal for the league games and Bono in goal for the Europa League games as of late. But I think that the Sevilla team wanted Bono to get a full 90 minutes before today, so they put him in for that league game and dropped Marko Dimitrovic to the bench, the backup goalkeeper for tonight's game. Spent a year and a half at Charlton. The backup goalkeeper, Marko Dimitrovic, Serbian international. So we've got it with Alex Telles in the left back position for Sevilla. Slams it forward, down the left channel for En-Nesyri. fouls Mancini in the process of winning the ball, and it's going to be a free kick for Roma, which they have taken quickly towards the halfway line, and it's now with Ibanez. Matic, curling ball down the left channel, and it finds Spinazzola, who gets forward from wing-back. He's one-on-one with Jesus Navas. Onto his right foot, tries one cross, blocked by Navas. Tries to play back towards Matic, deflects off a Campos, throw-in for Roma. Throw-in taken into Dybala. Thighs the ball, I think, towards Tammy Abraham, just behind the Englishman. Can be seen behind for a Sevilla goal kick. 5 wins in the last 10 in all competitions for Sevilla. Only 2 wins in the last 10 for Roma, and I'm pretty sure they are both Europa League victories. Obviously, they won the game against Bayer Leverkusen, the first leg 1-0, and they also beat Feyenoord 4-1 in the second leg of their quarter-final against the Dutch side. Goal kick taken. Matic went for it. It's been blown up there for a free kick. I think him and a Campos went for it, and a Campos has been left in a heap on the floor. Nemanja Matic is going to be booked for the damage he's done on the Argentine winger. It's be interesting to see if we get a replay of it, see how dangerous it was, because to be fair, Alex Telles, when he brought down Zeki Celik before, that wasn't even a yellow. Yeah, trailing with the elbow. Probably a yellow card in the end. An elbow in the neck of Lucas Ocampos by Nemanja Matic, and he will be booked. The former Manchester United and Chelsea player. But for Lucas Ocampos, the winger, this is his 3rd Europa League final. He's won 1 and lost 1. He won with Sevilla in 2020, then also lost with Marseille in 2018, where they lost to Atletico Madrid 3-0 in that final. So Matic booked for Roma. Matic has also lost Europa League final previously against Chelsea when he was at Benfica before joining the Blues back in 2013. So it's going to be a chance for Sevilla to get the ball possibly in the box. It's a free kick from afar, but Rakitic could definitely lump this in the box for his side. And he will do. Right-footed ball. No Sevilla player had made a run in the box, so it's an easy header in the end for Roger Ibanez. It's gone back to Rakitic, the taker, from the header. It's now out left to Telles, who goes for a switch towards a Campos, chests it down beautifully. He's got the overlap of Navas, can't feed it to the Spaniard, but he keeps it away from Spinazzola, and he feeds the Croatian Rakitic. Back out it goes to Navas. One-on-one with Spinazzola. Can't go the long way round him, so he's looking for a pass. He goes to Oliver Torres, who puts it in first time, header won by Mancini. Well, as far as Oliver Torres, who heads it back towards En-Nesyri, lays it off to Rakitic. A bit scrappy on the edge of the box and can be cleared eventually by Roma up towards Dybala, who's battling with Loic Badi for the ball. He falls to the ground, the Argentine, but there's no foul. Play continues with Roma on the ball with Cristante, loses out to Bryan Gil, who is then fouled by Cristante, and that'll be a free kick on the halfway line for Sevilla. Yeah, no free kick there for Dybala on Loic Badi. Mourinho wanted it, but Paulo Dybala had a big grip of Loic Badi's shirt, so I think it was, 50-50, a bit of both there on that occasion. So play was allowed to continue, and then Bryan Gil was definitely fouled there by Cristante. And it's a Sevilla free kick on halfway taken, and it's now moved to the left back, Telles. Down the line to Bryan Gil. Tackled by Celik. Sent back forward towards Telles, header won by Mancini. Falls to Dybala, who keeps it alive for his side and plays it back in the end to Cristante. Now Mancini tries to drill it forward, cut out in the end by Fernando in the Roma half, who's tackled by Tammy Abraham, doing his defensive duties. Now Matic forward to Pellegrini, met by a strong challenge from Rakitic, headed forward by Fernando. Torres inside, looking for a Campos, flicks it out to Navas, getting there ahead of Spinazzola. He's going to try and go away around the long way, Navas, and he does. He gets a cross in, header won by Mancini, only finds the edge of the box to Oliver Torres. And there'll be a free kick anyway in the box for Roma. I think Ibanez was the player down If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. Ibanez has stayed down as well, holding his face. Ball went in from Navas, I think it was. And there was a collision in him for Ibanez. Mourinho looking slightly stressed. He's got 2 Europa Leagues to his name. He's got 2 Champions Leagues as well. His last Europa League win was in 2017 with Manchester United. It's just as En-Nesyri was jumping for the ball, as he was landing, he kind of landed onto Ibanez's face. Totally accidental, but Ibanez did get a good whole hand of En-Nesyri in his face. That would have been a sore one for the Brazilian. I think no need really for the smacking of the ground, but I think it'd just be a goal kick anyway. Nothing to be done there. Accidental from the Moroccan striker Youssef En-Nesyri. Did score 2 goals in the World Cup, one in the group stages against Canada, then one in the quarterfinals against Portugal, which was a 1-0 win for them. West Ham have been heavily interested in the Moroccan in the past, but too big of a fee, unfortunately, to pay. So back underway. Knocked down to Oliver Torres for Sevilla as they regain the ball off Roma. It's now with Navas in the Sevilla half. Long ball forward, looking for En-Nesyri, flicks it down, looking for Brian Hill. Just misplaced and can be collected by Rui Patricio, who rolls it out in front of his centre-back Gianluca Mancini. Did get the assist last year for the only goal in the Europa Conference League final for Roma. 1 goal was all they needed. And Mancini was actually sent off in the last competitive meeting between these two in that round of 16 Europa League game in the COVID season 2020. He was in the 100th minute of the game. There was no extra time. It was for an elbow as well. Aggressive play from Mancini. There's quite a lot of the same players from the last time these two met from both sides. From Sevilla, Bono still playing from that game in 2020. Navas, Fernando, En-Nesyri and Campos, that's 5. And for Roma, Mancini still here, Ibanez, Cristante and Spinazzola. So 9 players from the 22 that were previously on the pitch that started the games in 2020 in that quarter-final. As Sevilla look to break. Oliver Torres on the left-hand side. He's not got much support, so has to play it back to Ivan Rakitic, who takes it on his chest and looks to send Navas away on the right-hand side. He'll feed it to the Spaniard. He's got a Campos with him. He'll play it to him early. Gets it back from a Campos. It's now Jesus Navas again. Trying to drive inside. Gets an early cross in. Dealt with by Chris Smalling. Towards the halfway line, Sevilla. Loic Baddy will get there ahead of Tammy Abraham. Messes up the first pass, but calmly gets it back to Bono for the second. Because you're doing more stream time class research. Thank you. I enjoyed the research for this one. I hadn't done a game with foreign teams for a while, so it's always nice to switch it up. Like I said, next season will be massive for this channel. There'll be so many commentaries, like 2-3 a week. It's going to be ridiculous. I actually can't wait. It's going to be a right buzz all season, so make sure you're here for next season, as this is the last of this season. I would have done the Europa Conference League final, but A-levels is a thing, so I've kind of got to focus on them, unfortunately. So this is the last one of this season. Then as soon as I might even try and do some pre-season games for next year, for next season, if there's any that I can watch and produce commentaries for. There's Navas' misplaced ball is won back by Spinazzola. Now Tammy Abraham, who's slightly deeper for the ball here and works out to right wing back Zeki Celik. Not the greatest of seasons for Tammy Abraham. Only the 9 goals in all competitions, and he's played 52 games, 53 now. Compared to last season anyway, he scored 27 goals in 53 last season, 17 in the league and 9 in the Conference League run. A-levels first, yeah, definitely. They're more important, even though I don't like it. I'd rather put football first. It's Mancini, big switch, out to Spinazzola, and he finds him. What a ball that is. Finds the number 37, deep in the Sevilla half. He gets a ball across, finds Dybala, pickpocketed there by Rakitic in the Sevilla half, and it's now with the Spanish side. Back to Navas in the right back row. So his goalkeeper Bono clears it left-footed. Forward towards En-Nesyri, flicks it on. In behind, too much on it for Oliver Torres to give chase, so he'll allow Roger Ibanez to just regain possession for AS Roma. Spinazzola goes back to Chris Smalling. playing central centre-back for Roma, now playing his 184th game under Jose Mourinho. He scored 14 under the Portuguese manager, and he's also part of that Manchester United squad that won the Europa League with Mourinho in 2017, the Englishman. Cristante, ball round the corner, looking for Dybala, well cut out by Gudel, the centre-half, and it's going to be a throw-in for Roma. Half an hour gone. One really big chance of the game so far that came Roma's way. And it's through Spinazzola, just under 10 minutes in. Pull back from Zeki Celik. Spinazzola, the wing-back, had a free shot at goal, but it was saved well and expertly by Bono, the Moroccan goalkeeper. He's got this throw in here now for Roma. Into Tammy Abraham, lays it back off to the wing-back Celik. Down line looking for Dybala. It'll be a Roma throw-in as it comes off Alex Telles last. Throw into the box, headed by Fernando. Only as far as Gudel, who hooks it away, but I think he's caught Abraham in the head as he hooks it. Plays continued. It was in the box as well. Sevilla looked to break. It's a strong challenge there. And let's just have a look. Play's been stopped because the ball went out for a throw from the tackle. Abraham stayed down. The ball was there to be won by both. Abraham went with his head, and Gudel went with his foot. They are checking for a potential penalty, and it is all English officials, so anything could happen with this call. I need to see a replay here. Abraham's still holding his head. Let's have a look here. Lads, Fernando won the first header. I think it's just one of them. Both players can go for the ball, and I think both would have been right to go with their foot. I think Tammy Abraham was just unlucky that Gudel, the centre-back, went with his foot and he went with his head. I don't think it's necessarily a high boot or anything. I just think it's a fair challenge, and Abraham unfortunately put his head in where it hurts. I don't necessarily think it's a penalty, and it won't be. The check is over. Sun, can you see that? Look at that. Absolutely shining. Another great commentary, thank you. Is your channel monitored? Not yet. And there's no way of giving a donation yet. You would not have to give any donations when that is able to happen. I've got 1,000 subscribers now, but you need watch time. So you need like 4,000 hours public watch time, and I'm on just over 2,000. So I'm literally halfway there. So I need some big streams to get monetized. So probably not going to happen until next season, which is a little bit frustrating. But hopefully we can get some big numbers in at the start of the season. But when it does start getting monetized and say if a donation button does become available, obviously I will not force you at all to donate. There'd be absolutely no need. Just watching and liking and all that is enough. But hopefully with some more big streams and starting next season, with a bang, doing a lot of live streams, I'm hoping to be able to get those watched hours in and get monetized. But if you want to help with the watched hours, I've got other content on the channel. I've done Football Manager saves. I think I did a Rangers one a couple of seasons ago. I know it's a couple of years ago, the game, but that's a really good. I did one season with them, and it was actually a really good season. It was really fun. So if you want to help with that, I'd definitely give them a watch because they're good episodes, to be fair. So yeah, we're back underway with Roma on the ball with Ibanez. No penalty was given. Abraham's back on his feet and on the pitch. Spinazzola takes on En-Nesyri. Can't quite get beyond Fernando. It will fall to Jesus Navas in the right back area. Comes off Spinazzola's chest. Not quite where he wanted the clearance to go there, Jesus Navas. Now with Pellegrini, the captain for Roma. Overruns the ball, won back by Fernando. Finds the right back, Jesus Navas, who will then clear down the line. Looking for a Campos, header won by Ibanez. Always finds Rakitic, who tries to spin away from Cristante. 50-50 challenge, and Roma come out with it, and it's slotted through to Dybala. In the box! First blood Roma! He's not played any minutes in the last 4 games for Roma. But Dybala has been forced back into the starting 11 because that's the magic he can provide. Roma go wild in Budapest. And it's the former Juventus man who swapped one Italian club for another chasing European success again. A season after winning the Conference League, Cristante won the ball off Rakitic. And it's a superb ball from Mancini to slot the ball through to Dybala, who had made the run in behind. He got in between Bade and Jesus Navas, and with the left foot, shoots across goal, beyond Bono, the goalkeeper. And for Roma, they take the lead again, like they did last season in the Conference League, and they were able to hold that lead and win that game 1-0. Can they do that again? They're 1-2. Mourinho side ahead. Sevilla 0, Roma 1. Rakitic wanted the foul there as he was dispossessed by Cristante, but I think it was pretty 50-50, that challenge. And VAR definitely won't disallow it. They won't tell him to overrule his decision there. And that is why Dybala, who was brought in by Mourinho, that's why he was so desperately wanted. That's now 5 goals in the Europa League. His last came in the win in the second leg against Feyenoord at home in the 4-1 win. It's now 17 goals in all competitions in 37 appearances in all competitions. He's been struggling recently the last month and a half with ankle problems. Not played any minutes in the last 4. Saving him for this final to get him in the team. Even if he can't play the full game, if he can at least play an hour, he can bring you danger. And that's what he's done to this Sevilla side. He's brought them danger and he's scored. And that's exactly why Roma were making sure he was definitely able to play some kind of part in this final, because he scores goals, and he's done that today, Paulo Dybala. What a player. What a start to the game. Like I mentioned before, Sevilla 0, Roma 1. Italian side ahead. Got to remember, all 3 European finals have got Italian sides involved. The Conference League has got Fiorentina facing West Ham, and obviously Inter Milan are taking on Manchester City. Bit of pushing and shoving off the ball there, and Nesiri on Mancini. And as well, important to realise as well, Mancini got the assist there for Dybala's goal. He actually got the assist as well for Pellegrini in the Conference League final last year in that game that ended 1-0, and it was actually a superb assist from Mancini. It was another diagonal ball in the box for Pellegrini. It's similar there. Got the ball, kind of a diagonal ball across into the path of Dybala. So even though he's a centre-back, he does love an assist, Mancini, in European finals. He was actually for Zaniolo last season. Sorry, not Pellegrini. I apologise. He assisted Zaniolo, who left in the January transfer window to Galatasaray. It was a similar assist. Interesting, isn't it, how he's assisted both final goals so far last season, the one last season and one this season, Mancini. As Sevilla clear out their own half, and Nesiri fouled by Mancini. Probably a bit of payback there as he shoved him off the ground there, Mancini. It's been a pretty even game so far, but it's Roma that have taken the first chance and got the first goal. Mancini clears. Looks for Rakitic. Fernando out to Tellez, the left back. He wants an early cross and he'll put one in. And Nesiri flicks it on towards goal. Easy, comfortable save for Patricio. I do apologise. I'm not sure why I thought Pellegrini was the one who scored in the final last season. It was Zaniolo. Patricio, ball out of his hands. Flicked on by Cristante. Abraham will give chase. Goodell intercepts all as far as Dybala. The goal scorer. He's been caught late. That's a free kick. Roma want the yellow card out, because that's twice now Dybala's been cynically brought down. That was by Rakitic. Yeah, it's a bad one, that clatter of knees there. Just wondering, I should have done research on this. From being able to do it on YouTube, I can do research during the game. Did Dybala play in that Champions League final against Barcelona? Because Rakitic did in the midfield, I'm pretty sure. In 2015, the last time Barcelona won the Champions League. I was wondering if Dybala also played in that game. with Rakitic, obviously on the opposite sides. They've got a free kick on the right-hand side here, Roma. Pellegrini stood over it. So is Dybala, the one who won it. It's Pellegrini to swing it in towards the far post. Ibanez went for it. He's missed it. And it's a free kick for Sevilla. Must have been a push there from Ibanez. I just don't see a foul in there, to be honest. They've both jumped for it and they both fell to the ground. Yeah, Rakitic played, and no, it was just before. I think it was the season before, wasn't it? Dybala joined, so no, they didn't play in that game together. Tellez on the ball for Sevilla. In their own half, gets into the Roma half with Brian Hill. Trying to get away from Celik. His passing set by Cristante. Throwing for Sevilla. Just under 5 minutes to go. It's gone very quick this half. Does anyone else think that? I think it's gone quite quick. It's Gudel, the centre-back, gets out to Jesus Navas on the halfway line. Being chased down by Lorenzo Pellegrini. Rakitic. Tellez. Being pressed and being forced to lose the ball. Roma throwing. Matic, heavy touch from the throw-in. And he concedes the throw-in himself through the heavy touch. Back in Sevilla possession. But Sevilla had 3 red cards in their last 3 games. 2 of them have been for themselves, and they've both been Acuna, the left-back, sent off against Juventus in the second leg, and also sent off at the weekend against Real Madrid, and then in between that, Real Betis, when they played Sevilla recently, also got a man sent off as well. So there's been reds in the last 3 Sevilla games. Not saying it will continue that run, but it is getting a bit feisty, this game, at times. We've got 3 minutes to go of the first half, and the Sevilla manager, Jose Luis Mendilibar, that's how you say his name, Mendilibar, Spaniard, 62 years of age, got the 1 trophy in his career, and that was a Spanish second division title in 2007 with Real Valladolid. As his side is attacking here, ball in the box, Campos with the header, challenging Ibanez with it, and Ibanez gets there first. Mourinho wants the free kick. It's getting feisty on the half, on the touchline. Campos and Ibanez both went for the header, and I think Mourinho's argument was that a free kick was given for something similar at the opposite end a minute ago, and nothing was given there, and it's a Sevilla corner that has been given. Rakitic to put the ball in. It's a dangerous one. Free header! Oh, roof of the net. It's Fernando with the header. Mentioned before, he's yet to score in this competition in his career. And he's had a free header about 6 yards out as well. Good ball in from Rakitic. He lost Matic's marker. And it's over the bar. Should have done better with that, Fernando, really. First kind of big chance there for Sevilla, as they are chasing their 7th Europa League title in their club's history. Roma looking for their 2nd European title. The first major one came last season in the Conference League, but they also won the Intercities Fairs Cup in 1961. Tammy Abraham getting away from 2 Sevilla defenders on the right-hand side and letting Dybala take over. He carries on down the byline, cuts in, pulls it back. Pellegrini can't quite shoot, keeps it alive. Abraham shoots. Yeah, free kick given and a booking for Pellegrini. He dived. Really, really lazy. That's just so poor from the captain. I'm not sure what he's doing. He got the pullback from Dybala. Couldn't quite create the space for a shot. So he just fell over after a touch. Let's get a replay here. Abraham did unbelievably well on the right to get that to Dybala, and he did well to get beyond Fernando. Pulled it back to Pellegrini. Took a touch. He got it through the legs of Rakitic. It was a heavy touch, so he wasn't going to be able to get round it. And he got a bit of contact off Rakitic, like accidental, kind of more of a collision, just colliding together, and just fell over. It was really strange. It was so forced that, like the falling over. So he's been booked for diving. It's probably the right decision. It was just weird from Pellegrini to go down like that, really. As Bono, the goalkeeper, will take the free kick. 45 minutes played. We're going to have 7 minutes of added on time. Wow. As Abraham charges down the left-hand side, gets away from Bade. That should be a free kick. Play continues with Abraham on the ball, loses it though to Fernando with a slide tackle. Only as far as Matic, who heads it out to Spinazzola, the left wing back, having to recycle and go back all the way to Patricio through Roger Ibanez. And here's Patricio. Long ball forward, looking for Cristante, does win the flick on, but no one's up there for Roma, and it will go all the way through to Bono, the goalkeeper, quickly playing it out to Tellez, the left back. The two players who scored the 2 goals against Juventus in the comeback to get them to the final are on the bench. Suso scored the first one, and then Lamela got the winner in extra time. Navas down the line to Ocampos, flicking over the head of Ibanez. Can't quite get on the ball. That's been swept up by, can't quite tell who that is. Nemanja Matic it was. Wasn't sure if it was him or Cristante. But Matic doing some covering and getting the ball out for a throw-in for Sevilla. It's going to be a Roma throw-in as well. Must come off a Sevilla man last. Spinazzola with a throw. Down the line, header won by Navas. Poked away by Matic, and that will this time be a Sevilla throw-in. Taken by Navas. All-time appearance maker for Sevilla, with what we think is 646 Sevilla appearances now. It's going to be a Campos to actually take it with a longer throw-in into the box. It's allowed to bounce. It's hurried away in the end by Cristante. Looks like Gudel. He's around 35 yards away from goal. Now out to the right-hand side of Ocampos. He gets a crossing. No one there, though, in a white shirt. And it will go all the way through for a throw-in on the opposite side for Roma. No one in the box to try and get on the end of that cross from Ocampos. And as I said before, for Ocampos, he had a failed loan spell at the start of the season with Ajax. Only played 6 games for them from then till January. Didn't score a goal. And there is Dybala getting the shot away beyond the goalkeeper. Putting Roma ahead. Scoring his 17th of the season in all competitions. He got 15 last season, so he's bettered his last season's tally by 2 already. As Sevilla has it. Brian Hill getting the ball from Ocampos, who's fouled off the ball. Brian Hill will carry on. And the free kick will be given on the Ocampos foul, which has been taken quickly by Fernando. It's now with Brian Hill. Goes to the right to Navas. Ball down the channel and he finds Hill on the byline. Tries a left-footed cross. It deflects in the sky. Ibanez to head away. As far as Torres. Chest it down to Navas. Still in the final third for Sevilla. They have to just play it back though so they can keep possession with Loic Badi. It's now Nemanja Gudel. Out again it goes to the right to Jesus Navas. Ball into the box. Header won by Matic. Goes all the way across to Rakitic on the edge of the box. Not dealt with by Roma as of yet. It's now Tellez who gets forward from left back. Tries to find the space for a cross. Does do so at the near post, but Mancini's there to clear with the right-footed volley. It's a throw-in for Sevilla. Still high into the Roma half. We've got 3 minutes of the half to play. Of the 7 minutes added on by referee Anthony Taylor. It's going to be another long throw-in. I think it's going to be a Campos again who's going to the left-hand side to take it. And takes it, he does. Header won though by Cristante. Still in Sevilla possession with Gudel. Short ball intercepted by Paulo Dybala. Out for a throw-in for Sevilla. Taken quickly to Fernando. Lays it back out to Tellez. Going across now to Bade, the centre-back. Here's Oliver Torres. He's got space for a cross. He'll cross it. It's a swinging ball in. Not dealt with by Roma successfully as of yet. As it does end up falling to Tammy Abraham, who can then clear away. Out for a Sevilla throwing in their own half. Getting back, doing his defensive work. Tammy Abraham, formerly of Chelsea, does have a Champions League alongside his Conference League trophy from last season. And he would be the first ever player to win all 3 European trophies, as the Europa Conference League was only introduced as of last year. Roma clear again. Goodell pulls Dybala down. How is that not a free kick? That is ridiculous. Dybala was definitely pulled down there, but nothing was given. And Sevilla attack with Oliver Torres towards the edge of the box. Lays it off across to Rakitic. Left-footed strike off the post. And Roma clear. The controversy, if that had gone in, because I'm sure Dybala was fouled there on the halfway line. Sevilla had continued and Rakitic slams the post as Rakitic crosses in the box towards the far post. Too much on it for a Campos, and it can be a goal kick for Roma. And they survive that big scare off the post. Good work from Torres to get away from the tackle of Matic. And about 25 yards out on his weak foot, across his body, Rakitic with a sweet strike off the post and nearly hits the back of Patricio. That would have been a calamitous own goal. But very fortunately for Patricio, it avoids his back and it just bounces away. And Sevilla, with that, is the first big chance for them. Rattles the woodwork with just under a minute of the half to play. Patricio sends the goal kick forward, header won by Fernando. Looks for his Dybala. Heavy touch means it can be won back by Sevilla in their own half. Here's Nemanja Goodell. Brian Hill gets away from Celik on the halfway line. Now Rakitic out to Jesus Navas, who likes to get forward from back. And he likes to link up with a Campos. And they're doing it again here. Down the line for a back heel, while Campos will give chase. Pellegrini will get there first. Right in that corner flag on the Roma left. Concedes the throw-in. And it'll be a Campos again. I'm going to presume he's going to take a long throw-in, and he will. And this will probably be the last action of the half. In it goes. Helped on. Headed away by Mancini. Falls as far as Goodell. Strikes. Big block from Paulo Dybala. And that will be half time. 52 minutes played in the first half between Sevilla and Roma. And we've been treated to a pretty decent first half of football by the Spanish in the Italian side. First big chance of the game came 11 minutes in for Roma. And it was a shot on goal in the box from Spinazzola. It was well worked down the right-hand side between Dybala and Celik, who was the one who got the pull back in the box. Spinazzola free in the box, right-footed shot, saved well by Bono, the goalkeeper. And then the first real big chance, which led to the goal. 34th minute, assist from Mancini. The ball was won back by Cristante in midfield ahead of Rakitic. And then Mancini took over, played a ball through into the path of Dybala, who got there and away from the Sevilla defenders, and in the box on his left foot, across goal, was able to beat the Moroccan in goal, and that gave Roma a first half lead. And right before the end of the first half, in the 6th minute of added on time, it was Ivan Rakitic from 25 yards out, let the ball run across his body and shot across his body with his left foot, and he was arrowing towards the bottom right corner, but it was the post that saved Patricio in the Roma goal, and that was Sevilla's only real big chance. They've put a few balls in the box, but they've been well dealt with mainly by the Roma defence. So at half-time, it is the Spanish Europa League serial winners, Sevilla 0, Roma 1, who are looking for their first ever Europa League title. Mourinho last season got them their first ever major European title, and they're looking to do it in back-to-back years, building from the Conference League to win the Europa League. It'd be a fantastic achievement from the Portuguese manager if he was able to do so. But they've still got another 45 minutes to deal with. Got some Roman dialect lesson coming in a minute. Let me just have a drink and I'll have a read of that comment. So, Romano di Roma. I'm a Roman from Rome. Daye, Roma? come on Roma. Daye or Daje? How do you pronounce the J? Is it like a A? Like Daye? Presume you wouldn't pronounce it as like. Presume you wouldn't pronounce the J. Like Daje Roma. That doesn't sound right. Surely it'd be Daye, you know? What do you mean no? So I'm turning Italian myself. But I do want to go Rome this year. During my A levels in history, I've been learning about fascist Italy. So Italian history from their unification in 1870. My teacher will be buzzing with that, knowing the unification date. Up until the downfall of Mussolini after World War II. And very interesting learning about Italian history, and I want to go to Italy. You know, when you learn about a place, you want to go and see it for yourself. So I wouldn't mind going to Rome in the summer. Fingers crossed. Daye Rome. I'm not going to say that because I'm a neutral commentator. I don't want any side to win. You know, I'm not bothered who wins. That's what a good game. Daye Roma. Romano di Roma means I am a Roman from Rome. How interesting. Has anyone else got any interesting facts they want to give at half time? Fill the 15 minutes in. I like that. I like a bit of Roman dialect to fill my half time. If anyone's got any score predictions as well for the second half, let me know. And as well, if you've been in the last few streams, you would know. Or I'm presuming if you're not remembered, then obviously, you know, my memory's rubbish, so I probably wouldn't have remembered. You might have remembered I'm a Stockport County fan. And if you are into English football, you would have seen the playoffs over the weekend, the Football League playoffs. And by the way, all three of them are absolutely superb. We covered one on the channel on the Saturday. We did Luton Coventry. That was a good game, going to penalties. And the day after, on the Sunday, I went to Wembley to watch Stockport County. Absolute penalty heartbreak. I've gone through it all now. Got the scars of Wembley. If I go again through county or whatever, then obviously it can't get any worse. To lose on penalties, we're winning in the 84th minute, and then Carlisle equalised, and it was just devastating. Then when it goes to pens, the penalties were taken in our half, and we got first penalty as well. And you're thinking, this is it. We've got them in front of our fans. We're taking the first one. We're on here. We weren't on at all. Carlisle's penalties were absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, I had my first Wembley heartbreak. First ever trip to Wembley as well. Ended in heartbreak, but oh well. Another season in League Two, can't wait. Roman dialect is very nice. Another very beautiful. Venice, yeah. I want to go loads of places. I was going to do it with my mate this year, but it costs a lot of money, and we're both a bit stressed at the minute with obviously A levels and that, and just getting through this last academic year. We kind of want to do like a big trip of Italy, all in one. If not all in one, do it in bits. Do you know what I mean? So like I mainly want to do Rome, but we're planning on it's like an 8-day trip where we go to like Venice, Milan, Turin, Venice, Rome, Napoli. I don't know if there's any more places we're going to go to, but that's 5. We're just going to do a big trip of Italy, start at the top and then make our way down, but we're going to have to hold that out for a few years. But I'm definitely doing that one stage in my life, for sure, doing a big trip of Italy. Yeah, but hopefully this year, maybe I can just do Rome. Start light, and then you can do your big trip after, when you've got a bit of experience travelling. Never been abroad, so yeah, it'd be a bit of a big trip that, to just tour Italy when I've never travelled before. But yeah, very interesting history to learn though, Italy. Very interesting indeed. Florence. Did I say Florence? I don't know if we plan to go Florence. They even say, because if I said Fiorentina, then that's poor. I don't think I said Florence. If I said Fiorentina, I do apologise, because I don't even think that's on our list of places to go. I'm going to have to find this now. Yeah, I did not. I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know. Did we say Florence? I do not know. we planned it out and everything. So I've got the email where we like planned it out. Have I not got it anymore? Yeah, don't. Where is it? I wouldn't have got rid of it. It's gonna annoy me that we planned it out and everything. Oh well. I can't believe I've not saved that. Oh yeah, just to show you as well. Show you my pictures from Wembley on the weekend. So, hold on. There we go. I was showing it well. So that's my view. I was behind the goal. I was on the second tier. Sorry, it's a bit bright. So, you can get the gist. Get a bit closer. There we go. So that was our view from behind the goal. Yeah, it was a good day. Just didn't end in the way that you want. Do you know what I mean? You'd like to win those games, but oh well. I would not go to Milan, Turin, and Naples instead of Fiore. Yeah, I just kind of want to go to the main footballing cities. To be honest, I want to go to that. Is it Lake Como? I want to go Lake Como. Is it Como? I think it is. Lake Como. Yeah, it is Lake Como. I want to go there. In fact, I kind of want to go to the whole of Italy. So what I'd do is I'd probably go to the main footballing places, so like possibly Florence, Milan, Turin, all that. And then definitely I'd go to the more like maybe scenic. I think my mate mentioned Bologna being quite nice. I'm from Como. No way. Really? Wow. How cool is that? That's really cool. I do want to visit Lake Como though. If you could sort me out. Yeah. How cool is that? Yeah. Como is a city at the southern tip of Lake Como, northern Italy. How cool is that? It looks absolutely beautiful, by the way. It really does. It looks so beautiful, I must admit. I'm very jealous. Not cool, we're in Serie B. Not quite. Is that where Fabregas went? Is that where Fabregas went to play? Como. I swear Fabregas went to play there. Mr. Cesc Fabregas. Was it Como he went to? Yeah, he's not done well for you this season, has he? He's let the side down. He's not scored. He didn't score this season in 17 games. I totally get why he went though. But he just went to stay at Como. I don't blame him at all. What a little place that is. Yeah, missed quite a few games. How'd you doing? Oh, didn't get off to a good start. What was that? No wins in the first 7. Where did you finish? 13th. Yeah, bit mid-table in it. On joint points with 12th and 11th. And in fairness, 7th was on 7th place, finished on 50 points. And you finished on 47. So if you didn't have a bad start to the season, you could have probably gone for the top 6, really. Have a look at Lugano. This is great. This is the exact person I needed to talk to. Because I do really want to fully travel the whole of Italy. I can't lie. In my life. So Lugano, it's in Switzerland. Yeah. Because my mate mentioned, because we want to do Europe, so he mentioned Lugano in Switzerland. I don't know why I thought it was Italy. In fairness, my geography's never been strong. But it's Italian speaking. Right, okay. Is it on the border then? Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's on the border between Switzerland. Ah! Look at this. Geography lesson. If you're still here listening to this, then fair play. Yeah, it's just on the border, isn't it? I knew we mentioned that. It's near Como. Yeah, it's there. It's nearish to Como. How far away is it from Como? A 40-minute drive? Really? Wow. Fair enough. I thoroughly enjoyed this half-time chat, talking about Italy and places to go. 25 minutes. But in fairness, when I checked then, there was a little bit of traffic. There was, the orange lines you get when you check where you want to go to. And then there's an orange line, you think, oh God, traffic. And when it's red, you're thinking, we're stuck. We're going to be stuck here for a while. So 25 minutes, how beautiful to be there. Are you still living there now? Or have you moved? You said you're from Como, but you might have moved, obviously, don't want to presume. Worst thing you can do these days is presume. Oh. So I get the lighting on as well, there you go, blind myself a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. But second half will be underway in a few minutes. We did get 7 minutes of added on time in that first half, so that's why we're starting the second half a little bit late. Yeah, still there. That's cool, that. I'm jealous. I really am. Really want to go to Como as well. Hopefully soon. Get Rome. As soon as I get Rome ticked off and I've been there, then I'll start to broaden the horizon, do you know what I mean? So, Roma do have the lead. 1-0 after the first half, which consisted of 52 minutes. It was a 34th minute goal from Paulo Dybala. What signing that is as well, on a free from Juventus. Scored a lot of goals this season. We've had a half-time change for Sevilla. 2 half-time changes for Sevilla. Okay. So Brian Hill and Oliver Torres have been replaced by the 2 scorers against Juventus. Suso, who got the first, and Eric Lamela, who got the winner of the second in the 95th minute in extra time. Suso got the equaliser on aggregate 6 minutes after Vlahovic had scored for Juventus in the 71st minute. Suso scored. So the 2 scorers from the semi-final second leg have been brought on for the second half of the final. I don't think Roma have made any changes, but 2 changes for Sevilla. Oliver Torres off with Brian Hill on loan from Tottenham, and they have been replaced by Eric Lamela and Suso. Eric Lamela, 8 goals for the season. 2 of them in the Europa League, obviously that one against Juventus, the most recent one, and then Suso as well. Not as many goals this season, only the 3 this season, 2 in the league, both coming in 2023, alongside his goal against Juventus, which was also this year as well. As we Sevilla kicking off, kicking right to left. Roma kicking left to right. Sevilla kick off for the second half of the Europa League final. Roma have a 1-goal lead, but that can all change as En-Nesyri plays back to Rakitic, once more to his centre-back, Loic Baddy, across to Nemanja Gudel, to his left-back, Tellez, down the line to Lamela, getting his first few touches of the ball. Gets the ball inside to Rakitic, first time out looking for Tellez. It'll deflect towards En-Nesyri, who then flicks it on towards Tellez, cut out by Mancini and cleared by Smalling. As far as Gudel, can't find Rakitic. It's now Cristante out to Dybala on the right-hand side. He's one-on-one with Gudel as he drives forward, tries to play the run of Pellegrini, cut out by the Serbian centre-back. And it's now with Eric Lamela. Ball inside, finds Suso, number 7, for Sevilla. He drives with it and he drifts towards the right-hand side here for the Spanish side. Finds the overlap of Jesus Navas. One-on-one with Spinazzola. Gets a crossing towards the near post. Cut out by Ibanez. Well, as far as Navas again. Suso. Twisting and turning against the other number 7 in the Roma shirt, Pellegrini. As he tries to shoot on the edge of the box, it deflects to Fernando. And Tammy Abraham, who tackled Fernando, got the last touch. And it's a Roma throw-in. Well defended there by Abraham, who's been doing his defensive work really well so far tonight. Spinazzola throwing down the line, helped on by Abraham, won by Loic Baddy, but there's a foul there by Abraham, pushing the back as he tried to win his first header. Anthony Taylor, not happy with Gianluca Mancini, time wasting. He's not happy with it, he's not having it. Abraham, just a little shoulder on Jesus Navas, pushing him down. Short ball by Lamela, picked up by Dybala in the Sevilla half. Zeki Celik's chasing forward the wing back. Dybala keeps it on his own, just about. Shifts it to Matic, back to Cristante, and Sevilla can get bodies back, and Roma will just relax with possession. But then they lose it to Mancini. Suso. Pulled back by Mancini, booking for the Italian centre-back. Mourinho's not happy. He's giving some grief. As Mancini is actually the one with the ripped shirt, in fact. Which is quite interesting. But he's been the one penalised. The man with the assist. He got the assist last year in the Conference League final. And he's got the assist for Dybala's goal tonight. Just tussled a bit on the floor with Lamela. That's what resulted in his ripped shirt. Navas. Down the channel towards the Campos. Misplaced the ball. Roma throwing. Looks like they are going to start taking their time with things now, Roma. A little bit of time wasting. Actually, they did an absolute defensive masterclass against Bayer Leverkusen. They faced 23 shots, and they literally had one shot to themselves. Not on target, just one shot in the whole game, Roma, in that second leg, away at Bayer Leverkusen. And they were able to get the draw 0-0 to get them through, as they were 1-0 up on aggregate for an Eduardo Bove goal. As Mancini just has to change shirts here, his other one was ripped. The number 23, the 27-year-old, he's got a contract at Roma until 2027. Been at the club permanently since September of 2020, after having a loan spell in the season before. Throwing down the line towards Dybala. Can't quite keep it alive for Roma. Goodell sends it forward for Sevilla towards En-Nesyri. Header won by Chris Smalling. Luis Fernando brings it down in the Roma half on the Sevilla right-hand side. So Campos with it. Relays it into his captain, Navas. Back it goes to Nemanja Goodell, who actually worked under Fabio Cannavaro in China in 2018. This Ballon d'Or centre-back. There's a crossing for Sevilla. Towards the far post. It drops towards a Campos. Asking for a handball. Roma are able to clear it in the end. Half-hearted asks. And there is just a quick VAR check on it. The Campos went for the header and it was blocked fairly. So no VAR penalty given. So now Suso on the right-hand side for Sevilla. He's got some plays to aim for in the box. He lays it off to Fernando. Navas. Back to Suso. He's made more of an angle for a cross, but instead goes across himself with a pass to Goodell. Fancies a strike from afar. Dummies the shot and sends Dybala. Then works it out to Tellez on the left. Better angle for a cross. It deflects into the box. Campos challenges it the first time. Then goes for an overhead kick the second. Completely does not catch it at all. And it's a goal kick for Roma, but slightly more positive from Sevilla in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. Sorry for any buffering that you would have experienced there. Slight problem there with the connection. Should be back now. So apologies for that. Yeah, apologies about that. We should be back now. As it's back with Goodell, the centre-back for Sevilla. Just goalkeeper Bono. Sevilla just have it in their back line with their goalkeeper Bono again. Only make his 20th Europa League appearance. 9 clean sheets in his previous 19, so not going to quite get to double figures today with clean sheets in this competition. As they continue to play out from the back, they've got it forward to Fernando on the edge of his 18-yard box. He'll then drive forward for the Spanish side, and he gets it across to Rakitic, who then enters the Roma half on the Sevilla left. He's got support with him, with Lamela. Ball inside, in the box. Alex Telles with a wild strike over the crossbar. It goes. But it's met by a round of applause from his manager, Jose Luis Mendilibar, who took over Sevilla in March after such a poor season. He's got them in the right direction. He's managed them 15 times. He's only lost twice. And those two losses came to Girona in the league and Real Madrid at the weekend. So he's not lost many, winning 8, drawing 5. So since his appointment, he's been positive. Clip down the channel for Sevilla. Header won by Chris Smalling. Throwing for Sevilla on the halfway line. Do apologise if you get any buffering issues. Hopefully it would have fixed themselves. Ball out to the right towards the Campos, asking a lot of the Argentine winger. It's going to be a Roma throw-in on the Roma left. In the defensive third for the Italian side. 6th place currently in the league with 60 points, and they finished last season in 6th with 63 points. So if they win at the weekend, they'll have an identical record to their league campaign last year, which isn't great. Campos clipped on the ankle by Spinazzola. He's been pretty decent on the right hand side of Campos, winning the free kick here as well in quite a dangerous area for the Spanish side. He's worked well with Jesus Navas down the right. It's not quite materialising to anything, that can end up in a profit for Sevilla in terms of a goal, but they've looked a half decent threat. Ball in the box, header won. I think that was by either Ibanez or Smalling, but it was a vital header in the end. Hooked away by Dybala. Sevilla can restart from their own half with a goalkeeper Bono. And here's Rakitic playing a deep line playmaking role, and he gets a beautiful ball out towards Suso on the right hand side. He keeps it for Sevilla away from Spinazzola on his left foot. Lamela, Rakitic back out to the far right to Navas. Everything's to his left. He's got Spinazzola to take on. He gets an early cross in, and it's in the back of the net. It's an unfortunate own goal for Roma, but Sevilla will not care. I said they've been working well down that right-hand side, and that's where the goals come from. A Jesus Navas cross, which was allowed in by Spinazzola, not getting tight enough to his man. And as the ball went in, Smalling diverted into his own goal. Mourinho wants calm, but they weren't able to calm that storm from Sevilla because the Spanish side has scored in the Europa League final. Sevilla won, Roma won. Equaliser, and it's deserved. They've got off to a good start in the second half. They'd worked it to Navas. Ball in the box. It just missed the Campos. And I don't think Chris Smalling was expecting a Campos to miss it. It was actually off Mancini. Oh, how unfortunate. The camera had panned to Chris Smalling, believing it was him who diverted it into his own goal, but it was actually Gianluca Mancini, who was marking En-Nesyri at the far post. Deflected off his knee, past Rui Patricio at pace. And we're all square in the Europa League final. The man with the assist for the Roma goal has put it into his own goal in the second half. It's Sevilla 1, Roma 1. Chris Smalling and the Campos missed it firstly for both sides. It then went towards En-Nesyri and Mancini in the box, and Mancini wasn't able to deal with it into his own goal beyond Patricio, and we've got an all-square game now in the Europa League final. Got a Roma throwing on the left. We played 11 minutes of this second half. Dybala with one goal in the first half and an own goal from Mancini in the second. Not got a good record against Sevilla. Last time they played each other in the Europa League in 2020, he got red carded. Now he's in the red again, but with an own goal this time. It's been a good response from Sevilla at half-time since the substitutes. Oliver Torres and Brian Hill replaced by Suso and Eric Lamela. But Roma just settling down again on the ball with some possession in their own half. Spinazzola on it. Down the line towards Pellegrini. Fouls Fernando when trying to get the ball, and it'll be a free kick for Sevilla on halfway. One says one for Mancini, who was booked in the second half. He's got over 60 yellow cards in his career for Roma, and he's played for them 178 times now. So he's like a yellow card every 3 games for Mancini, which is absolutely ridiculous. As Roma have conceded the free kick here again on the left-hand side. Zeki Celik, the responsible man for the foul on Alex Telles. He believed he got the ball, the Turkish international. I don't think he was too far away from it. But I think he just clipped Alex Telles as well in the challenge. Another dangerous area for a cross here on the left-hand side for Sevilla. Attacking their own fans. Rakitic stood over it. Be a right-footed in-swinger. In it goes. It's going to be met by Roma head. And headed away to Navas, who's furthest back for Sevilla. Gets it back out wide to the left-hand side to Rakitic. Nods it forward to Lamela. Gets it across goal. Header won by Smalling in the box. Falls to Dybala. Heads it across to Pellegrini. Tries to take it on the turn, but it's won back by Sevilla through Lamela. Now Rakitic back to halfway line to Gudel. Sevilla on the ball again. Definitely looking the better side now in this game. You might remember when they did win 3 Europa Leagues in a row under Unai Emery. Sevilla. In the 2014, 2015 and 2016. Obviously Unai Emery has also gone on to win it again with Villarreal a couple seasons ago, beating Manchester United in the final on penalties. Patricio to take the goal kick for Roma. Towards Celik, heads on towards Dybala, headed on by Telles. Throw in for Roma, couldn't quite be kept in by Ivan Rakitic for Sevilla. And Rakitic is looking for his 50th Sevilla goal. He did hit the post at the end of the first half. His team's got a goal in the second. Cristante, Pellegrini, Matic caught late by Ocampos. Free kick. No yellow card though. Definitely was a free kick. It's caught him late, Ocampos. There Matic just stood on the top of his foot. Free kick for Roma. Yeah, just caught the tippy of his toes there. The man, Campos there on Matic. 34-year-old now. It's quite the distance, but maybe a Pellegrini or a Dybala fancies the strike here. About 30 yards away from goal, it'd be quite some strike to beat Bono from here. Sevilla goalkeeper. He did play in Sevilla's last final against Inter Milan in 2020. He's also making his 140th appearance for Sevilla, the 32-year-old. Dybala looks like he wants to strike. So does Pellegrini. Like I said, it's around 30 yards away from goal. It would take one hell of a strike to get this in Budapest, in the Pukas Arena, which holds 67,000 plus. So Roma with a free kick. First chance since conceding. It'll be right foot Pellegrini straight into the wall of Ivan Rakitic. And it'll be repossessed by Roma through Paulo Dybala. Shifts it onto his left foot. Curls the ball in towards Chris Smalling with the header. Into the hands of Bono, the goalkeeper. And he wants to try and set away Sevilla quickly. Can't quite find the right option in his full yellow strip there, the goalkeeper. And it'll be Sevilla to keep possession. And as he eventually throws it out to Navas at the right back position. He gets it down the line to a Campos. Tries to find Suso inside, but it deflects back to Navas, who clears first time up towards En-Nesyri. Comes off Smalling's head last, back to Patricio, and it's Roma possession again. Rolled out quickly to Ibanez, the centre half, the number 3. Ibanez should be making appearance 150 for Roma at the weekend. He's making appearance 149 tonight. If he plays against Spezia at home at the weekend, that will be number 150. But in the league in 2023, Roma they've only been able to pick up 50% of the points available, 66 available for them. They've only gained 33 points, which has meant a big slowdown in their hunt for Champions League football through the league. But they could get it through a win in the Europa League tonight. But they're currently drawing in the 62nd minute with a Sevilla side who are also mid-table in the league, but had their fortunes changed when they appointed manager Jose Luis Mendilibar. I can't say this guy's name. Mendilibar. When he's brought in March. It was only as far as March last year where Mendilibar faced Sevilla as the opposition manager. That was for Alaves. Rakitic kicks it out. Roma throwing in their own half there as the Croatian tried to get possession back for his side. Ivan Rakitic, part of that Croatia 2018 squad, which got to the World Cup final. Tellez keeps it in, always finds Celik. Forward to Tammy Abraham, nods it down to Pellegrini, the captain. Works it out wide left to Spinazzola. He's had a great battle with Navas on that Roma left and Sevilla right. Doubled up on by Campos and Navas, and together they can win it off of Spinazzola and win the throw-in. Well won there by Jesus Navas, the 37-year-old, who put the cross in for the own goal off Mancini. Started now the last 4 games in the Europa League, Jesus Navas, making his 48th appearance in all competitions. Missed the game at the weekend through a yellow card suspension against Real Madrid in their 2-1 loss. As he clears up the field here, Navas, towards En-Nesyri, loses out to Ibanez. Well, as far as Rakitic, gets it to Suso, who loses out to Roma, but then Dybala also loses out, who looks to be hobbling. Might be struggling with the ankle injury that he's been dealing with since the back end of April. We might be seeing Dybala withdrawn soon. As Roma clears it up towards Tammy Abraham, loses out to Loic Bade. Tammy Abraham stays down holding his head. Don't think there's much in that. Lamela. Dispossessed there by Zeki Celik. And Roma look to break, but he's been tripped there by Ivan Rakitic, and that's going to be a booking for the Croatian. Has Anthony Taylor done something I think he's done? What's Anthony Taylor done here? So Zeki Celik was tripped over by Rakitic. He's been yellow carded. Okay, I was worried then. So Zeki Celik was tripped over by Rakitic, and a lot of Roma players went to surround Anthony Taylor. And in the Premier League, when too many players have surrounded the referee, they'll get them. The third man who surrounds him will get sent off, no matter what he says or does. So Rakitic has been booked for the foul, and Cristante's been booked because he was one of the 5 Roma players surrounding the referee. I think also one of the coaches for Roma have also been booked as well. It's getting feisty, this one. A lot of yellow cards. But they look to break there, Roma. Celik completely sent Rakitic and then got tripped by the Croatian. Rightly given free kick and a yellow card for Rakitic. Mourinho, age 60 now. Turned 60 in January. Looking to get his 27th career honour. 6th European title. He side took the lead in the 34th minute, but they were pegged back in the 54th. The 55th through an own goal by Mancini. Pellegrini can get this free kick in the box. Great ball in. Ibanez! Tammy Abraham still alive. Good save, Bono. Oh, sliced wide by Ibanez. And that's a big chance for Roma. And it goes begging. There was a good save in there from Bono. The ball was whipped in by Pellegrini. Questions of offside, possibly.
First header was won by Ibanez. It then got flicked on by Abraham about 4 yards out. Great reaction save from Bono. And it was able to be scrambled away. Only as far as Ibanez, who had a second strike at it. Good save from Bono on Abraham's strike as he spun and got a shot off at goal. It was a great save. Ball goes in. Ibanez helped it on. Right foot strike from Abraham. Great save from Bono. Couldn't be dealt with successfully until Ibanez's slice strike went wide and Roma gets their first big chance of the second half. And I think we're going to see Paulo Dybala replaced. He's been struggling with an ankle injury since the back end of April. He didn't play any minutes in their last 4 games in all competitions. Try to save him for this final, and he's been able to play 67 minutes and contribute a goal, the Argentine. So I think his work's been done for tonight, and he'll be replaced by former Liverpool man and the man on loan from PSG, Gini Wijnaldum. Started his loan spell off disastrously with a broken, ended up fracturing his tibia in training in August. So he's only been able to play 21 games this season so far in all competitions, 22 now entering the field. Did come on twice off the bench against Bayer Leverkusen in the semi-final, and he's come off the bench in the final here to replace Paulo Dybala. And we're back underway. Sevilla on the ball in the left-back area in their own half with Alex Telles. Plays a 1-2 with Ivan Rakitic, and it's the former Porto man on the ball again. Telles clips it up the field towards Lamela, loses out to Mancini. Cristante's header won by Lamela, and Rakitic's tackle by Celik, and that'll be a throw-in for Sevilla. With 22 minutes to go over the 90, we're still all level in this Europa League final in Budapest. Stadium that started construction in 2017 and was opened in 2019, so it's a pretty new stadium here in Budapest. Ball crossing for Sevilla towards Lamela. Can't quite get it under control, and Roma can get it forward, looking for Abraham, but no one's up there for him. Ball didn't even reach him in the end. It's now Fernando in the midfield for Sevilla. Works out to Suso on the Sevilla right. Crosses it with his left, helped on by Campos. Header well over the bar. Goal kick for Roma. Good positive play though from Sevilla. Campos getting his team up for it, getting his fans lively for the game. The man, 4 goals in the league this season, Campos. His best return in the league season was in 2019-2020 in La Liga, where he scored 14 goals in 33 appearances. So he does have double-digit goal-scoring seasons in his locker, Lucas Campos, the winger, now at the age of 28. Patricio up towards Cristante, header won by Fernando towards En-Nesyri, loses out to Mancini. Cristante again, tripped from behind by Fernando, free kick for Roma. Mancini will take the free kick on the halfway line for Roma, wanting some more options here. He'll actually leave it for Nemanja Matic to take, who goes across to left centre half, Roger Ibanez. Forward to Pellegrini, back to Matic on halfway. Ball forward to Abraham, great ball. Tries to let it off towards Wijnaldum, cut out by Bade. And it's now Sevilla for a chance for a counter. Suso forward into the space for Lamela. Chops back, getting it away from Matic and looking up for his options. He's playing it backwards to Rakitic, who enters the attack. Suso plays it to his right to Fernando. Roma get bodies back. But they've worked it to Navas again on the right. We know how dangerous his crossing can be. He lays it off instead to Campos. Inside to Suso. Back out to Navas. Roma struggling to win the ball back here when Sevilla have got it, and they're in motion of getting the ball forward. Rakitic, Lamela. Rakitic again. Clips the ball out wide right. Finds the chest of Campos, who brings it down. Spins. Looks forward. Plays it inside to Suso. Back out to Navas. He's got space for the cross on towards the corner flag. Crosses it. He does. Towards En-Nesyri. All the way through to the back post to Telles. Volleys it off the back of Celik. Corner kick for Sevilla. If a side look like scoring and winning it, it is the Spanish side. Roma have just not been that great in the second half. Pressure's really been piled on them by Sevilla. It's going to be an in-swinging corner. Header won by Roger Ibanez. They'll be chased down here by Jesus Navas on the Sevilla right-hand side. He'll be chased by Wijnaldum, the substitute. but he gets it back out wide to Suso, who's been tackled unfairly by Spinazzola. Another dangerous free kick for Sevilla on the right-hand side. It's a great opportunity for a cross. No complaints there from the left wing-back, Leonardo Spinazzola. Signed back in July of 2019 for £25.5 million from Juventus. Won a league title with them the season before he left. It is his comeback season. He only played 4 times last season, Spinazzola, because he was recovering from his ACL injury that he was out with for 9 months after he picked it up in the Euros. You might remember, in Italy's triumph in the Euros. It's going to be Suso to take with his left foot on the right-hand side. It's a deeper one towards a Campos. It drops in the end to Cristante, who can clear for Roma, but there's an offside flag up there, and Roma can breathe. Free kick for the Italian side. Only the one change made so far for Roma. That's Dybala being substituted. I don't think there was an offside, actually. I think it came off the arm of the Campos as he jumped for it there. It was a good spot from the referee. Ball forward by Patricio. Cleared away by Tellez as Cristante couldn't keep it alive. Mancini heads forward, though, for Roma. Ball forward, and it's a long one by Cristante. Tammy Abraham will give chase, but it'll be an easy catch and collection for Bono, the Moroccan goalkeeper, and he rolls it out quickly to Jesus Navas. 17 minutes to go until we hit the 90th minute. Navas just calming things down in his own half here. He plays it back to Loic Baddy, the French centre-back, who spent the first half of the season on loan at Nottingham Forest, but didn't make an appearance through injury. As the ball's now been worked out to Tellez at left-back, getting forward again. And there's going to be another booking. There was a foul off the ball. Alex Tellez was running with it down the left-hand side, but Cristante was blocking off a Sevilla run. And he commits the foul, and it's a yellow card for him. So both central midfielders booked now, I think, for Roma. Yeah, Lamela fed the ball to Alex Tellez and he just held him back there. It was actually Zeki Celik with the booking, so it's the wing-back book, not Cristante. We get another change. Tammy Abraham has been replaced by Andrea Bellotti. Signed on a free, Bellotti, in the summer from Torino. Not scored any league goals, and he's played 30 league games, but he does have 3 in the Europa League. Ball from Rakitic out to the right-hand side for Sevilla. Suso. Back it goes to Navas. Suso again. Navas again on the halfway. So Bellotti's replaced Abraham up front for Roma as they make their second change. Lamela. 1-2 with Suso. A Campos in the box. Gets beyond one. Brought down. Penalty. Roma again surround the referee. Mourinho doesn't believe it's a penalty. With 15 minutes to go, this could be a big turning point in the game. A Campos, he's been lively all game. He really has. He got away from Ibanez the first time. Oh, does Ibanez nick the ball before taking down a Campos? Got beyond him once. He's tried to recover. Oh, I don't think he did get the ball there, Ibanez. Let's have a look. They were battling the first time. A Campos got away from him, and as he was about to try and pull the trigger, I do think that's a penalty. They're going to let the referee, Anthony Taylor, go and have a review of it. But I don't think he got the ball. Two very passionate sides here. So the officials are having to deal with a lot of pressure from both sides. I think that's a penalty. Oh, he gets a little nick of the ball, actually, from one angle. Does he get man first or ball first? No penalty. No penalty. I do think there's one angle from behind the goal where it just looks like he did nick the ball, in fairness. So no penalty, right decision. Good refereeing, because from some angles it looked like he didn't get the ball. So from the referee's angle, it might look like he didn't get the ball. But from an angle, just from behind the post, you can just see he just about nicks it. So right decision, no penalty for Sevilla. Just nicked the ball. It's actually a really good tackle from Ibanez because Campos was charging on goal there in the box. Just gets a slight nick of the ball there, Ibanez. And he had to recover because Campos did him literally the second before. But Sevilla have been the much better side. Much better side. Roma have really lacked chances in this second half. They were the better side in the first half. They had one chance in the second half. That came 10 minutes ago now for Abraham when he had that shot on at goal after the cross in the box, which was flicked on by Ibanez. But Sevilla have looked a lot better, looked a lot more lively this second half. It's a Roma throwing on the right-hand side as Gudel clears at the back for the Spanish side. Remember, Roma are not in good form going into this game. They've only won 2 of their last 10. And those 2 games did come in the Europa League in fairness, but they've not won any of their last 7 in the league. Lamela brings it down expertly. Expertly? Yeah. Expertly down the left-hand side and wins a throw in for his side. 15 minutes to win this. I've got to climb a mountain. I bet you'll get some beautiful views, whatever mountain you're climbing. Navas just inside the Sevilla half in the right-back area, pressed by Pellegrini, by Spinazzola, so he's been forced back to his centre-back, Loic Baddy. Sevilla again on the ball with Navas. Down the line to Suso, being pressed by Wijnaldum. Surrounded by Roma shirts here, Suso. Can't get away from Cristante, but it's Navas to play it infield. All as far as Cristante. 1-2 with Matic, and Cristante lifts it to Wijnaldum, who flicks on towards Belotti. Cut out by Badé. All as far as Wijnaldum, the Dutch midfielder, who keeps it for Roma. And they start again at the back with Ibanez. And he goes across to right centre-back, Gianluca Mancini. Switch towards the left. Header won by Badé. To Rakitic in the Sevilla half. And he plays a left-footed ball down the left channel, looking for Lamela. Battling with Mancini. And it'll be Mancini to win the free kick in the right-back area for Roma. Just been pulled there, Mancini, by Eric Lamela. As the ball was played down the channel by Ivan Rakitic. Definitely, I can't call this one because even though Sevilla have been the much better side this second half, you know, that one chance Roma had, Tammy Abraham was able to get a shot away from a couple yards, and it was a really good reaction save from Bono to keep it level. As the free kick's been sent long up towards Belotti, loses out, and it can be Sevilla to clear up the field, get it into the Roma half, challenging ball to be dealt with there by Ibanez, but he deals with it nicely. Spinazzola, though, gives it away to Suso. Salva Campos on the right. Cross into the box, well headed away by Chris Smalling. Helped on by Wijnaldum, not convincing at all. Sevilla come again with Suso. Navas. Cross in. Kneed away by Smalling. Also as Rakitic heads it forward into the box to end the series. Goes down again. Cleared away by Roma. Nothing given by the referee. Badé, the centre-back for Sevilla. Heads it out towards the right. Can't be kept in by Campos. Roma throwing. 10 minutes to go. Plus any added on time. I'm going to have to turn on the main light in a minute because I literally can't even see the notes I've got in front of me. It's that dark. Even though I've got that light here, the ring light, blinding. Very, very bright. Belotti gives chase down the Roma left. Wins a throw in for his side. Pushing his team up the field. Matic. Gets it to Spinazzola. 1-1 with Jesus Navas in the final third. Can he work across? Lays it off. Matic. Cross deflected. Is it off a hand? There was questions. Answered with a no from Anthony Taylor. So Roma continue with the ball. Ibanez goes down again. Rakitic with the foul. He's already been booked. Spinazzola still asking for the handball, which will be checked by VAR. Oh, it comes off the hand. It comes off the hand of Fernando. This is a big call to make. And then, as we continued, Ibanez did get tripped there by Rakitic. One more, and Rakitic is definitely off. Check over. For what? For the penalty? Surely not. Oh, no penalty. They're not even letting Anthony Taylor go and have a look. That's interesting. I mean, card out here for Anthony Taylor for the coaches. One of the Roma coaches booked. He's getting very tense, getting very feisty on the sidelines. I feel bad for the fourth official, Michael Oliver, who's having to try and deal with that in the middle of it all. In fair, it hits his hand, but he's trying to move it. It is in a natural position. If that's the argument I'm going to make for the referee for not giving it, it's by his side, and he's tried to move it behind. I don't know. I'm going to stay in the middle. I don't know. The players thought it was a penalty, which is there's an argument for, and there's an argument for no penalty because it was by his side, and he did try and move his arm out the way, but it did strike the hand of Fernando. So 2 penalty shouts not given. One was given for Sevilla about 10 minutes ago on a Campos, but then was overturned after it was seen that Ibanez actually won the ball. And then VAR did not even think about giving that one. The quick check as Roma tries to take it quickly, chipped in towards Belotti. Oh, just past the post. What an opportunity. It was quick thinking from Pellegrini to dink it in behind the Sevilla defence. And Belotti got there and sliced it wide with the left boot. Unmarked. Couldn't quite get the full contact. Oh, it's a save. Good save. Was that going in? It might have been going in. It's a big save from Bono. The referee didn't see the save, though. I think it's been given as a goal kick. It was as well. Definitely came off a hand of Bono. Good save from Belotti, but the referee didn't see the slight nick it took off his hand. Matic on the ball now for Roma as they regain the ball from the Sevilla goal kick. Cristante goes back to Mancini. Looking for an option. Delaying his pass, but he got away with it as he's been dragged down by Lamela. Free kick for Roma. I'm going to quickly just turn my main light on. I'll literally be 2 seconds. Sorry about that. But look at that, so much better. I can actually see. So we've got a bat with a free kick for Sevilla in the Sevilla half. Not sure why, I must admit. Unprofessional, I did miss it. Out of the darkness, come off the light. I know I was in a lot of darkness. It was very dark. I quite like it, sat in darkness sometimes. The light can give me a headache. Not like any of you needed to know that, but there you go. So we're 5.5 minutes, I can't do maths. 5.5 minutes away from playing the full 90 of an action-packed game. It's been a great final, I must admit. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. But we're still level. Roma have struggled this second half, but the last 5 or so minutes they've showed they can get forward and create chances. Like that one with Belotti a couple minutes ago. Like Baddy, the centre-back for Sevilla, on the ball. He's on loan from Stade Rennais, but he does have an option to buy Sevilla if they're happy with the centre-back's work. As a Campos loses out, but then it's won back by Lamela for Sevilla. Ball forward to Suso. Working himself away from the Roma midfielders and then shoots from afar. It's had to be headed behind by Roger Ibanez. That's a corner kick for Sevilla. Really well worked free kick. Really well worked corner as well. Shot literally from about 30 yards. It shouldn't have really been blocked there by Ibanez. Shot wasn't really a dangerous one. It was probably going well wide as well. But blocked it, he did. Keane sees the corner, he does. Rakitic with the outswinging corner for Sevilla. In it goes towards En-Nesyri, but it's a header won by Chris Smalling. We retrieved for Sevilla by Jesus Navas. Works it to Tellez. Diagonal switch back out towards Rakitic, the corner taker. Keeps it in and heads it back to Navas, who joins the attack on the right-hand side. Crosses it early towards En-Nesyri. Heads it only as far as Mancini. You can't clear very far for Roma, which kept alive by Lamela. It's now back with Tellez. Forward to Fernando. Out wide it goes to Navas. Sevilla building again. A Campos. 1-on-1 with Ibanez. He's going to try and take on the Brazilian. Tries the cross, blocked by Ibanez, and that's a throw-in for Sevilla. Taken quickly to Navas, headed back out to Ocampos. Tries to cross, deflects again, another throw-in for Sevilla. They've worked really well, as I mentioned before, down that right-hand side, Jesus Navas and Lucas Ocampos. And it looks like we're going to get an Ocampos long throw. In it goes. Header won by Matic. Falls to Belotti for Roma. He loses out though to Jesus Navas in the Roma half, and it's now works back out towards the Sevilla right, but it's cleared by Spinazzola. Helped back forward for Sevilla by Tellez, but it goes for a Roma throw-in. 3 minutes to go. Decided on time. Only one starter as well from the weekend for Roma, so they did rotate for the final today. Chris Smalling was the only survivor from the starting 11 at the weekend against Fiorentina, where they lost. They actually lost 2-1, conceding in the 85th minute and the 88th. So it's only since the last game where they've actually conceded late goals. So let's hope, for Roma's sake, that that doesn't happen again. Sevilla throwing now in the Roma half. Campos tackled by Roger Ibanez. Jesus Navas coming over to take the throw into a Campos. Gets the return. Kept in though by Spinazzola, who blocks the Navas pass. It's now Pellegrini on the halfway line. Gets it across to Zeki Celik, the right wing back. Switches it towards Spinazzola on the left. Cut out by Jesus Navas, and the header forward towards Endesiri. Falls to Roger Ibanez, and it'll be Roma to restart from the back with Patricio. Finds Mancini. Clip ball forward towards Belotti. Doesn't go anywhere near him, but Goodell misses it. Belotti will give chase, but it'll be Goodell to recover and get there first and restart with his own goalkeeper, Bono. He's got 90 seconds left of the 90, plus the additional time that will be given by Anthony Taylor. Fifth meeting between the two sides. 3 of them friendlies and 2 of them in the Europa League. Sevilla got the better of Roma in the last Europa League meeting. Recently played in 2021. It was a 0-0 in a friendly when Julian Lopetegui was the manager of Sevilla. As Roma receive a goal kick. Good defending from Spinazzola, getting the last touch off of Campos. Another commentary. Could be going to extra time. Been doing quite a lot of them. Recently, my last one was an extra time commentary from Coventry against Luton. Went to extra time between Chesterfield and Notts County as well. Patricio with the goal kick up the field, tried to be helped on by Cristante, but Sevilla to win the ball back. Lamela dispossessed by Belotti. Celik tries to play it forward towards Belotti. Throwing for Sevilla. Roma believe it came off a Sevilla man last. Mourinho's absolutely furious. They believe Sevilla got the last touch. 6 minutes added on as the board's been held up by Michael Oliver. 6 minutes. Can we find a winner? For Sevilla, this competition's in their DNA. They've won 6 of these titles before. They want to make it 7. Rakitic, outside of the ball boot, down the left channel, looking for Tellez, who was getting forward, but it's out of play, ran out of pitch. Throwing for Roma. 5.5 minutes to go. 1 goal each. 1 in each half. Means we're all square. Going into added on time after the 90. Celik throwing to the centre of the park, finds Wijnaldum. Can't keep it away from Rakitic. And Sevilla are back in possession in their own half with Jesus Navas bursting away from Belotti and searching for Suso, and he finds him with a nice lifted ball. Ocampos 1-2. Suso on the right, cross in, and Nesiri with the header over the top. Not challenging the Portuguese goalkeeper there. But it's a well-worked chance there for Sevilla. Good ball out to Suso by Navas and an intelligent 1-2 with a Campos. And Suso was the one who got it in the box, but he was En-Nesyri, the one to head it over the bar. Got up there beating Mancini and Small into it. Couldn't quite get it on target. Patricio to take the goal kick. Towards Belotti. Loses out to Fernando. Rakitic nods it back to Bade, who can only clear out for a Roma throw in their own half. Not great there from the Sevilla centre-back. So, right to note that Roma did finish second in their group. Real Betis finished first. And they also had Ludogorets and Helsinki in their group. Roma got 10 points from a possible 18. Navas at right back for Sevilla. Back to Bono, the goalkeeper. 3.5 minutes to go. Will we get late drama? Rakitic searching for Tellez, cut out by Mancini. Cristante can't keep it in. Thrown for Sevilla in the Roma half. To be fair, Anthony Taylor's been okay as the referee today. I mean, he's had an absolute battle with every set of player and staff. And such a high-pressure game. I think he's dealt with them quite well, because it can be quite intimidating at times when you've got about 20 men all angry running at you at once. But he's done okay. Sevilla attacking down the right. A Campos, an accidental handball, but a handball nonetheless. That'd be a free kick for Roma. Patricio to take that free kick from the handball. Flicked on by Cristante. Controlled by Belotti. Back to Cristante again. Looks for a ball to the left for Roma towards Spinazzola, but it's dispossessed by Sevilla. Cleared all as far as Ibanez on halfway. Roma back in possession. 2 minutes to go. Matic forward. Spinazzola tries to flick it towards Wijnaldum. Cleared by Navas. All as far as another Roma throw-in. Not very convincing from the Spanish right-back. Throwing towards Belotti. Dealt with by Gudel. Sevilla centre-back. Navas clears. Up towards En-Nesyri, who does flick it onto Lamela. He gets it away from Mancini. Down the Sevilla right, he's been pulled back by Roger Ibanez. Oh, it's gone the other way for a handball. Must come off the hand of Lamela. Spinazzola charging away. Good tackle from Jesus Navas. And Fernando can bring it forward for Sevilla. Ball forward to Lamela, who's turned. Heavy touch. Tackle strongly by Smalling. His touch is only gone as far as Fernando. Sevilla will come again. Just over a minute to go. Tellez. Try to charge past Pellegrini. Ends up going back to Rakitic. Nice ball finding Suso. Brought down as well beautifully by the former AC Milan winger. He cuts in onto his left foot. Shot spilt by Patricio. And En-Nesyri keeps it alive. Lamela tries the shot. Blocked. Fernando! Oh, drags it wide. And that's probably the last big chance of the game. I think we've got extra time on the cards. Suso cutting in from the right on his left. Shoots. It's not the best of shots, but it's really not the best of saves. Parried by Patricio. Lamela tried to shoot. That was blocked. Fernando tried it from the edge. And that was dragged wide. That's a goal kick for Roma, and I think we're getting extra time again. So many finals recently in football. All going to extra time. Patricio with the goal kick. We've played the 6 added minutes and we will have extra time. The two sides cannot be split in this Europa League final. Sevilla won. Roma won. And in this after a first half which consisted of Roma dominance, with a Dybala goal in the 34th minute that quickly changed after half-time. Sevilla made 2 half-time changes, bringing on Lamela and Suso, and it made the difference. 10 minutes into the second half, Sevilla equalised for a Gianluca Mancini own goal. It was a well-worked ball down the right-hand side to Navas, who got the ball in. It avoided Smalling. And I believe a Campos in the box. And it fell through towards Mancini, who could only deflect it into his own goal, unfortunately, for his side. And then a big chance for Roma with about 23 minutes to go. Abraham in the box, flicked it towards goal, but Bono made a great reaction save, and Sevilla survived that scare. But it's mainly been Sevilla building the attacks and getting the crosses in, even if they're not resulting in big chances. Another big chance for Sevilla with a penalty that they were given, but it was overturned, as it was seen that Roger Ibanez actually won the ball against the Campos. But then also, Roma nearly had a penalty of their own. A minute later, there was a cross in the box in the 80th minute from Spinazzola. It came off the arm of Bade, but nothing was given after a VAR check. And then Belotti also had a chance, 83rd minute as well, a cross into the box. It was a quick one, catching out the Sevilla defence. He was able to turn and get a shot towards goal. It was saved by Bono, but the referee didn't see the slight touch from the keeper, so a goal kick was given. So at the end of the 90, after both sides equally having decent chances, it's ended Sevilla 1, Roma 1. And we will get extra time. Extra time all the time. 3rd game out of my last 4 that I've commentated on have gone to extra time. I'm not complaining, but it does, like, really, it tires you out when you're constantly talking for like over 2 hours. It's crazy, but I don't mind it at all. I love it. So we'll get another 30 minutes of football. Will these two sides be separated? That's the question. The extra time will get underway in a couple of minutes' time. Yeah, someone's also tweeted here, having a look at some tweets for some talking points. This person has said, unpopular opinion, Anthony Taylor is having a good game in very difficult circumstances. Every player on both teams is cheating and diving and appealing for everything. So I agree. I hope everyone else agrees. Because in the heat of the game, and both sides being so aggressive and try to win everything they possibly can. It can be hard for a referee to get calls right, but I think he's been pretty consistent, I think. How funny is that? Zaniolo scored for Roma in the Conference League final last season in the 32nd minute, and Dybala scored Roma's goal in the 34th. 2 minutes difference. Change is at half-time for Roma. Zeki Celik, the Turkish wing-back, is being replaced by Nikola Zalewski, the Polish international. Celik was on a booking for Roma, so he's going to be replaced by the young Polish international wing-back Nikola Zalewski. Subbed on in the second leg against Bayern Munich in the 34th minute. I was going to get ready for another half an hour of football. Roma scored the goals, give them the cup. Extra time is good for watching hours. Yeah, well, that is... You could not have put that better. That is exactly right. I should have looked at it that way. It definitely is better for the watched hours. 100%. So, Roma kicking right to left. Sevilla left to right. Both teams attacking opposition fans for this first half of extra time. It's 1-1. Dybala with the first in the 34th. A Mancini goal in the 55th. Means we have extra time in the 2023 Europa League final. And we're back underway with Roma kick-off. Kicking right to left, up towards Belotti. Header won by Campos, all as far as Wijnaldum. Finds Spinazzola. Back he goes to the halfway line to Roger Ibanez. It's now Smalling. As Roma start with possession at the beginning of the first 15-minute halves that we have in this extra time. Long ball up towards Wijnaldum. Flicked on. In behind for Spinazzola. He'll get there towards the byline. He'll clip a ball in towards Belotti. Loses out at the far post, I think, to Tellez. And Sevilla can bring it away with Lamela. Switch out to a Campos on the right. Down the line, first time. Finds Suso. Holds up the ball for Sevilla as he's been challenged by Spinazzola. And he'll work it to the left now to Rakitic. Finds the ball inside to Fernando. Spins, looks to the right hand side and finds the ball to Suso. Struggled last season for injury, had a lot of ankle injuries. Suso spent 5 years, as I mentioned before, at Liverpool. Also had a stint as well at AC Milan. His only other trophy as a professional footballer came at AC Milan in the Italian Super Cup in 2016 when they beat Juventus. Sevilla still have possession with Bono in the goal, who actually has a goal for Sevilla. Not even joking. He scored against Real Valladolid in the 94th minute with an equaliser to make it 1-1. It was a left-footed shot in the box in the 2020-2021 season, I believe. So yeah, he does actually have a goal for his side. As I think end the series just been caught offside there. No, it's Sevilla on the ball. With Alex Tellez, as I mentioned before, on loan from Manchester United, has racked up 50 appearances for the Red Devils. 30-year-old. Before joining Sevilla on a season loan. Obviously not wanted in Ten Hag's plans for the season, as he did bring in Malacia, who was on the end of the defeat from Roma for Feyenoord last season in the Conference League final. Ball out to Suso. Controls it beautifully, quickly pressed though by Spinazzola. He's allowed to turn. Not allowed to turn actually because he's fouled him, brought him down. Free kick for Sevilla. He's been good since coming on Suso on the ball. He's lacked goals this season, only 3 in all competitions, but he's been dangerous when he's been on the ball, Suso. He's been kind of allowed a free roaming position. Not really a set position. He's found himself on the left and right hand side. Zalewski wins a goal kick there on Alex Tellez. Deals with the left back well. First kind of defensive work he's had to do Zalewski since coming on for extra time. Haven't got the average age of each team. I should really write that down. I've got the average age of their new signings this season. If you're interested, I might as well tell you. It's actually interesting. Roma's average age, they've brought in 9 new players, and the average age of those players was 27. And for Sevilla, they brought in 10 new players, and the average age was 24. So slightly more experience for Roma, bringing in the likes of Matic, who's 34. And other players as well. Wijnaldum, who's also 32. But I should really do that. I should have found out the average age. I do apologise. I can find it though for you. I'll find it quickly. I should have it written down though. The amount of things I end up writing down for stats, and then there's little things like this that I don't write down. So Sevilla's average age of their squad, as I've got to double change for Sevilla. Karim Rekic will come on the centre back. And Montiel, the right back who won the World Cup for Argentina, literally won it for Argentina. He scored the winning penalty. Montiel will replace Alex Tellez, who can't continue. He's ran his race. So I think he'll be replaced by Rekic, formerly of Manchester City. He is a left-footed centre-back, I think. So he'll slot in at left-back because there's no other like-for-like left-back swap for Alex Tellez, who just can't continue with a slight knock. And Jesus Navas will be replaced at right back. That's like for like. Gonzalo Montiel, the Argentine, who scored the winning penalty in the final against France, will replace Jesus Navas, who got the ball in, got the cross in for the own goal. 37 now, so he's asking a lot of him to play the full 120 minutes. The average age for Sevilla's squad is 28 years old, nearly 29 years old, which is interesting. Hence why they're probably bringing in younger players. And for Roma, their average age is 26. So despite it being the opposite, Roma bringing in older players and Sevilla bringing in younger players, it's Sevilla with the older squad and Roma with the younger squad. Nice bit of skill. Pellegrini flicks it to Wijnaldum, spreads it out to Zalewski on the right, cuts in, back out onto his right again, shoots with the shot at Rakitic, blocked by Sevilla, and it can be kept alive by Cristante. Really well dealt with by Cristante. Matic, Zalewski, back to Mancini, forward to Matic, out it goes to Ibanez on the halfway. 5.5 minutes played of the first 15 minutes of extra time. Matic out to Zalewski, the substitute right wing back. Down the line it goes towards Cristante, blocked by Rakitic, the captain, who's took the armband off Navas, and it'll be a corner kick for Roma. Well won down that right hand side by Cristante. I think it did just take the last touch off Rakitic, I think. Yeah, I think it came off Rakitic last, just about. It's an out-swinging ball. In it goes, header won by Bade, the Sevilla centre-half, as far as Matic on the left-hand side for Roma. He's got Suso, try to tackle him, and tackle him he does. Throwing for Roma. Throwing will be left by Matic, and it'll be taken by Spinazzola. Throwing into Matic. It's back to Spinazzola. Forced all the way back to Chris Smalling, the Roma centre-half. 3 goals this season, all came in the league, all came in victories as well, but his last one was in October for Chris Smalling, as his diagonal ball towards Spinazzola has been cut out by Montiel, the right back, the substitute right back. Is now a Campos. Ball forward. Suso. Rakitic finds Lamela on the edge of the box. Plays it back to Suso. Out wide left it goes now to Rekic. Fernando. Rekic again. Usually a centre back, having to do a shift at left back after Tellez couldn't continue. Trying the right hand side this time now with Gonzalo Montiel. Suso. Goodall. Ball forward. 1-2 with Rakitic. Goodall then goes back to his centre back partner, Bade. Wide right it goes to Montiel. Suso. Left footed crossing. It's a curler. It's a header won by Smalling. Back out towards Suso, who will give chase and will let the ball roll for a throw in for Sevilla. Forced all the way back for Bono, the goalkeeper. 8 minutes played of extra time so far. We're still level at 1-1. Yet to have a big chance in this second half. In this first half of extra time. Goodall drives forward from the back for Sevilla. Plays it into Lamela. Rekic driving inside, overrunning the ball, and Matic can dispossess. Back to Spinazzola. Has to clear first time with his weaker right foot, only as far as Bade, the centre back. And it's headed out for a throw for Roma in their own half. Both sides starting to tire in such a high intensity game, having to play so long. Can take it out on many players, and it has today. Spinazzola. Tackled by Suso, and as the Campos took over, he was fouled by Spinazzola. Free kick for Sevilla. Goodall. Montiel, the Argentine right back, substituted for Jesus Navas. Campos loses out. Ball played towards Suso, was won back by Ibanez, and he will clear up the field for Roma. Looking towards Borti, loses out to Bade. His header dropped only as far as Spinazzola though, so Roma back in possession in their own half. It's now with Matic driving forward into the Sevilla half and then plays it across to Gianluca Mancini. Diagonal ball to the left-hand side. Looking for Borti. Nods it down towards Wijnaldum. Ball overruns and can be won back by Sevilla through Campos in his own half. Looking back towards his own goal, but then plays it forward to Fernando. Suso. Rakitic. Wide left it goes to Eric Lamela. He's got Rekic overlapping to his left. He'll play it to the Dutch international. He goes inside to Fernando. Played 100 minutes of football now. These two sides still not separated. Montiel, the right back. Plays it back to Bade. To the left. To Lamela. It's actually Suso with it. Good run. Tries to slot it through to Lamela. Pass intercepted and it will drop to Matic, who gets his shirt pulled and fouled in the end. It's a throw in for Roma. Relieves the pressure because Suso was going on a tidy run there. But his pass was intercepted and Matic could draw the foul and give his side some breathing space. Matic struggling now. Age of 34. It's a lot of football to play. It's like the Sevilla midfielders as well. Fernando and Rakitic, they're both 35, so they'll be feeling it for sure, having to play this much football. Patricio with the free kick sends it up for Roma. Header won by Rekic towards En-Nesyri, who's been pretty quiet, the Moroccan striker, and he's been tackled by Chris Small, and he wins the throw in for his side, which will be taken by Zalewski, the Polish right wing back. Born in Italy but doesn't have an Italian citizenship, so he represents Poland. Zalewski, birthplace of his parents. Spinazzola for Roma in the Sevilla half, driving forward, driving inside, and gets away from Campos. And the pass is poor. Try to find Wijnaldum, but the clearance is also poor. Pellegrini intercepts, only as far as a throw in for Sevilla. As it looks like Jose Mourinho wants to introduce Diego Llorente on loan from Leeds, and he also wants to introduce Stefan El Shawari. Maybe he's discussing things with the two substitutes. Not sure if he's going to introduce any of them, as we've got 2.5 minutes left of this first half of extra time. Really, really good game of football so far. Extra time has slowed up a little bit, but both sides still try to show intent of scoring a goal. Montiel on halfway. Goes back to Loic Badi, the centre-back. And then to his goalkeeper, Bono. It's now a centre-back. Gudel for Sevilla, who's played for 4 different clubs in the Europa League in his career. Nemanja Gudel. He's played for Sporting Lisbon, Ajax, AZ Alkmaar and Sevilla. So plenty of experience in the Europa League for him. As an overhit cross for Sevilla goes for a Roma throw-in on the opposite side, which will be taken by Zalewski, who did feature in the World Cup for Poland, playing against Mexico and France. The young wing-back born in January 2002, as he throws it down the line towards Belotti. Won back by Fernando for Sevilla, and they'll build from the back again. Montiel, the right back, on the halfway line. Goes back to Bade. Gets it to left back. Karim Rekic. Lamela. Loses it to Mancini. Throwing for Sevilla. Rakitic gets it from the throw. Montiel. Suso on the right, pressed by Spinazzola, who's been forced back to his back line. It's now Gudel. Rakitic, Rekic gets inside. Zalewski will not let him go. That's a booking for the Polish international. He wanted to take it quickly there, Rekic, but yellow card was not letting Rekic get past him. Wanted beating him, he wasn't letting him round him. Got a hold of his shirt. So that's the right wing back on a booking now, the number 59 for Roma. got 2 assists last season in the Europa Conference League, Zalewski, against Bodo Glimt and Leicester. Good work there from Rekic to draw the yellow card there out of Zalewski. As the free kick's been taken quickly and it's been taken short, and they've won a corner from it. Lamela and Rekic working down that left, forcing the corner out of Nemanja Matic. Jose Mourinho stressed. And it'll be Rakitic to walk over to take. 2 minutes of added on time. We played 30 seconds of it in this first half of extra time. Right arm raised from Rakitic as he swings the ball in towards the far post over here, towards En-Nesyri, who's been really quiet today, and that'll be a goal kick for Roma. It's not quite had the effect that he would have liked. Yusuf En-Nesyri had a great Champions League campaign 2 seasons ago. He got 6 goals in the 6 group stage games. He got a brace against each of his opponents. Oh, sorry, no, he got 6 up until the last 16 where they were knocked out. He got 3 braces, once against Krasnodar, once against Stade Rennais, and then he got one against Dortmund in the last 16, but unfortunately Sevilla could not progress through. Patricio to take the goal kick for Roma. Up the field it goes. Headed on by Cristante. Sliced away by Loic Bade. And there'll be a throw in for Roma inside the Sevilla half as they can push up the field. Definitely looks like Roma will survive at least the first half of extra time without conceding. Don't know about Sevilla. See what Roma can do with this throw in as they're in the Sevilla half. Spinazzola throws it into Belotti. And that'll be the first half of extra time completed. No real big chances in this first half of extra time for either side. They both look quite leggy, both look tired, don't really want to give anything away. No one wants to make any mistakes. So at half time it is Sevilla 1, Roma 1. For Sevilla, they have made 4 changes, and Roma have made 3. So both sides have got substitutes left to make if they need to. And the yellow card total is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the whole game. Jose Mourinho giving out some tactics for the second half of extra time, as he'll want his team to win it in the 120 minutes. He probably doesn't want penalties. Jose Mourinho, who's never lost a European Cup final. He's won 2 Europa Leagues, one with Porto, one with Manchester United. He won the Champions League as well with Inter Milan and Porto. Won the Conference League last year, so he wants to make it 6 out of 6 in European finals. And Sevilla, in their 6 Europa League wins, they've come in 6 games. They've never lost a final in this competition themselves as well. Last bit of instructions being given out from Jose Mourinho. He's using every second he can of this break to get his tactics over to his team that he feels will be what is needed to get the game. 1 for Roma. So we've got Roma changes, and it's the 2 I mentioned before as well. Diego Llorente, the centre-back, on, and El Shaarawy, the winger, on. Not sure who they've replaced. That's all of Roma's 5 substitutes made. Llorente replaces Leonardo Spinazzola. And El Shaarawy, the number 92, replaces Lorenzo Pellegrini, the captain, He did look very leggy, the Roma captain, in fairness. He has the 4 Europa League goals this season, the captain, 1 in the quarterfinals against Feyenoord. So Roma have made all 5 changes. And I think they're going to a back 4, possibly. I'll let you know further on. No changes from Sevilla as well. So we're in the second half of extra time. Sevilla on the ball, kicking from right to left. Roma left to right. Mancini heads away towards Belotti. Headed back towards his own goal, towards Lamela, who runs the throw-in at Zalewski. Goodell, the centre-back for the Sevilla, pressed by the Roma striker Belotti. Roma lost the Champions League final on penalties. Yeah, what year was it? I think it was here we go. Sevilla, Rekic, feeds En-Nesyri on the left, cuts onto his right foot, cross deflected. Also has Rakitic who keeps it alive for Sevilla. Yeah, they lost the UEFA Cup final, Roma, to Inter Milan in 1991. And the European Cup final in 1984 on penalties to Liverpool. So they have had tasted European defeat before Roma. They don't want to taste it again. Belotti heads away at the near post, doing his defensive duties. Goodell, the centre-back for Sevilla, strikes it, drags it wide. Stays at 1-1. Stays at 1-1 between the two sides. Goodell trying his luck there. The centre-back making his 50th Europa League appearance, excluding any qualifiers he may have played. Nemanja Goodell. Ball forward. Wijnaldum heads it inside towards El Shawari. Tries to keep it, and he does keep it, playing it back to Zalewski. Lifted ball, looking in behind for Cristante. Overhit, goal kick for Sevilla. Cristante looks very tired, to say the least. I think Roma have gone to a 5-3-2. So Diego Llorente playing at left wing back, and they've stuck El Shawari and Belotti up front, and they've got a midfield three of Cristante, Matic and Wijnaldum. So it's a 5-3-2 for Roma and Jose Mourinho, as Sevilla are going to stick with their 4-2-3-1. Bono clears for them in their goal. Flicked on by Campos towards En-Nesyri. Smalling cuts it out. Matic in the midfield, caught with a tackle from Fernando, but the referee says he won the ball. Lamela carries on his run, but he's committed a foul whilst running. I think he had a trailing elbow. Sevilla are not happy. And then Mourinho's also not happy. Matic and Fernando stay down. Both went in for it strongly, Matic and Fernando. And Fernando got there first, and they both collided. Fernando did well there to get the ball ahead of Nemanja Matic. Then Lamela set away, but as he was trying to fend off the player behind him, I think he caught him in the face. Yeah, cool, bit of a strong elbow there, actually, on Roger Ibanez. Yeah, definitely a foul there. Well seen from Anthony Taylor. Just caught him pretty full on there, Eric Lamela, with an elbow. Not sure how intentional it was, but he definitely got him. Yeah, blood from the lip of Roger Ibanez after that elbow from Lamela. What a career Mourinho's had. Do you know what I mean? Like Porto, he won 2 European titles there. Chelsea, 2 spells there as well. Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Manchester United, now Roma. He was assistant at Barcelona under Bobby Robson. Like, what a career, man. Like, that's a career in football, that. Let's forget his time at Spurs, because that wasn't great, was it? And in fairness, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't great. Not really backed, are they, Tottenham? Daniel Levy, not quite running the club at the best. But enough about Tottenham. We've got Sevilla versus Roma. We've got a slight break. with Roger Ibanez just getting treated for that elbow. If that's an intentional elbow, that's really naughty. That from Lamela, like red card kind of worthy. That's a proper elbow in the face, but he might not have meant it. Lamela wasn't happy with the decision for the foul to be given against him. Ibanez still getting treated as Mourinho just takes a minute to sit down in his chair. It's his 40th game managing in the Europa League. He's won his previous 20. He's won 24 of these previous 39, drawing 7 and losing 8, scoring 70. Scoring 71 now and conceding 28, and he's never had to deal with a penalty shootout in the Europa League. Jose Mourinho. So if this goes to penalties, this would be his first ever penalty shootout in a Europa League game. He has got a 50% win rate as well as Roma manager. Previous 108 games, he's won 54 of them. Competitive games, that is. As Ibanez still getting treated. So we'll get quite a bit of added on time at the end of this second half of extra time before possible penalties. He's back on his feet though, the Brazilian centre half. And it'll be a free kick for Roma in their own half. Be Patricio to take. He also won the Euros back in 2016 with his country Portugal. Got another year left on his contract at Roma, the goalkeeper. Now at the age of 35. As a free kick can now be taken. Ibanez back on the field to play. Cristante, I think he flicks that onto Belotti. Right hand side of the box, tries to pull back, blocked by Goodell. And that is a corner for Roma. Behind their fans, or in front of their fans, with the fans behind them. If this ball's right, this would be a great chance to win it for Roma. Mourinho wants to win his 6th European title. He's already won one with Roma. Can he win a second? Ball in the box from Zalewski. Good header away by Sevilla. To Lamela, who tries to backheel it into a teammate, but it's cut out by Wijnaldum. And Llorente heads back. Well, doesn't head back, kicks it back to his goalkeeper, Rui Patricio, who will clear up the field towards Cristante, who does win the flick on that time towards Belotti, but he comes off his back and he'll drop to Rekic of Sevilla. It's now Bono, the goalkeeper. Got just over 7 minutes to play, plus added on time. We'll get a bit of it after that Ibanez elbow to the face where he had to have some medical attention. Here's Rekic, at left back for Sevilla. Down the line it goes to Lamela. Rakitic, ball forward, look for En-Nesyri, can't bring it under control. And Cristante has it now for Roma. Smalling, clear down the right hand side, looking for Belotti. Header won by Goodell. Roma wanted a quick one. Well, Mourinho wanted a quick throw in. But there's no one there for Roma to take it. It's now going to be Zalewski to take the throw in. Halfway inside the Sevilla half. Throws it down the line towards the corner flag to Belotti. He will get there. He'll kick it off Goodell, the centre back. And will win a throw in right in towards that corner flag for Roma. Could we see a late winner for either of these two sides? It's been a pretty poor extra time. No real chances for either team. Both teams tiring. Zalewski with a throw in. It's quite a long one as well in the box. Fernando wins the header at the near post. Headed down by En-Nesyri to Lamela. Then cleared in the end by Rakitic. En-Nesyri gives chase, but Smalling heads back for Roma. Helped on by Mancini and once more by Zalewski, but no Roma plays there to chase. Belotti eventually does, but it's Rakitic to get there first. Play back to his goalkeeper in his 18-yard box. And he clears it up the field towards En-Nesyri again. Helped on for Sevilla. And Lamela can get there ahead of Zalewski. He's got Suso to his left in support, but he'll take the shot on himself. Blocked by Smalling. Back to Lamela. Finds Suso this time. Inside it goes to Fernando. Works it to the right-hand side now. To Montiel. The right back. with the cross. It's a floated one in. Smalling wins the header. Kept alive for Sevilla though through Fernando. And they'll come again. 5 minutes to go, plus added on time. Rakitic out left to Suso. Tries to drive inside. Releases it with a ball across to Bade. Finds Montiel, the right back. Inside to Suso. Forward to Fernando. Back to Gudel, the centre back. To his left to Lamela. Once more to Rakitic. Tries a switch. It's a poor ball though. It can be headed away by Wijnaldum, but no one's up there for Roma to chase. So it'll be helped back into the possession of Sevilla through Loic Badi, the centre back. 4.5 minutes to go. But I think we've had a stoppage in play. Matic down. Really, really struggling. Nemanja Matic needs to catch his breath. I think he's pulled a muscle, possibly, the 34-year-old. And Roma have no changes left. Unless you get an added change, unless you get an additional sub for extra time, I don't know if they can bring anyone on to replace him. Both Cristante and Matic, that two in midfield for Roma, have worked their absolute socks off. And I think they can make a sixth change. Because you usually get 5 subs, but if you get to extra time, you get an extra 1. Because they've subbed off Spinazzola, Pellegrini, Abraham, Dybala and Celik. So this is going to be their 6th substitute. So I think Matic will be able to be replaced here. And I think he's going to be replaced by Eduardo Bove, who scored the winning goal in the semi-final against Bayer Leverkusen in the first leg. The only goal in that entire semi-final at home. Anthony Taylor adding this time on. I think Matic just taking his time off the field. Not sure if the Serbian will rejoin the action. As Anthony Taylor drops the ball and we're back underway in Sevilla possession. I'm presuming Matic is going to make his way back on the field. Anthony Taylor's not allowing him back on yet. Matic eventually allowed back on after dealing with his cramp issues. Rakitic, all Sevilla. All they're looking at is that Roma goal. They want to get the ball in the back of that net. Suso for Sevilla. Works it to the left-hand side to Karim Rekic. Finds the ball inside to Rakitic. Good play. Nearly good play. Lamela tried to find Rekic. But Rekic only got on the end of the ball because he pulled back a Roma defender. And it's a free kick for Roma. Rakitic into Lamela. First time touch looking for Rekic. And then he pulled down Zalewski. Free kick for Roma. 2 minutes to go. But I think we'll get a good chunk of added on time. We've had a few stoppages through Ibanez and Matic. Rui Patricio to take the free kick for Roma in his all green jersey. Matic gone down again and Sevilla aren't happy. Sevilla really aren't happy. I think they can see a chance to win it. Mourinho's enraged. Mourinho is enraged by the Sevilla reaction. And it's boiling over here. The officials, the all English officials, have had a really tough night tonight. It's been such a passionate game from both sets of coaches. I think the argument is Sevilla believe Roma are time wasting because Roma look dead on the feet. Because it's been a lot. Mate, Sevilla dominate the second half and they've had a lot of the ball in the first half. So Roma are just dead on the feet and they think they're trying to just slow the game down and get its penalties. But I think Mourinho's argument is that we're substituting him off. So we're not time wasting. He actually needs to come off. So, yeah, both sides just meeting there in the middle. A few arguments. But Matic is being substituted by Eduardo Bove. Been at the club since 2012. He joined at the age of 9. And like I say, he scored the only goal in the semi-final in the 2 legs against Bayer Leverkusen to send his Roma side through. born in Rome as well. Eduardo Bove made his debut in the league back in May 2021 at the age of 18, nearing his 19th birthday, making only his 10th Europa League appearance, the central midfielder, and he'll replace Matic. 120 minutes played, 6 added on. I knew it was going to be a big number because Ibanez was down for a while and Matic took up a few minutes as well there. So as Wijnaldum loses it in the middle of the park, Suso runs away with it in the Roma half. Tries to find Montiel. He loses it though to Wijnaldum, overruns it. Cristante clears for Roma. It's a poor clearance though. Rekic regains for Sevilla. Yeah, result of it. Yeah, definitely. I think just all players are pretty exhausted and tired. It's been such a long season. It's pretty much started in August and it's ended practically in June. You know, it's a 10th month season for a lot of these. Non-stop football. It can be a lot. Really can be a lot. Mourinho was, of course, booked in the whole melee of that situation before when Matic went down for a second time. So we played a minute of the 6 added on. Campos wins a throw-in deep inside the Roma half. You'll leave it to Gonzalo Montiel, the Argentine right back. Throws it. And it's in the box. Sevilla chance. Pull back. Bove with an interception. Not dealt with. It's another cross in the box. Towards En-Nesyri, who wins the header, but it's an easy save for Patricio. No power on the header. Thrown in there by Montiel, and it was held up by Lamela, and he got a touch back in the box for Montiel to get on the end of. He was the one who then pulled it back, but it was dealt with by Bove. And then the second cross from Suso was met by a weak header from En-Nesyri. And Roma survive. Not the greatest of extra time periods, but the first 90 was definitely entertaining for sure. I really enjoyed it. It's been a good battle between these two sides. Two passionate sides for sure. Ball kicked long by Patricio. Header won by Rekic. Looks like Bove for Roma. And he gets it forward to Belotti on the right-hand side towards the corner flag. He's been tackled fairly by Goodall. Battling on the right-hand side here. He's still alive. Free kick given. Lamela fouls on the Roma right. Eduardo Bove was in there. He nearly committed a big tackle himself. That's why I hesitated. I thought he was about to go right into someone, but the battling continued and Lamela was the one to commit the foul on Zalewski on the far right for Roma. Good chance to get the ball in the box here. Really good chance to get the ball in the box. The youngster's over it, the one who won it, Nikola Zalewski. Crosses it in. Cristante can't win the header. It's En-Nesyri to do so and he heads it on as far as El Shawari. Ball back in the box towards Cristante. Heads it in the centre. Ibanez has gone down. Goodall's gone down as well. But nothing done by the referee. Play continues. With a handball and a free kick for Roma. As both players have stayed down. Roger Ibanez down again. And Nemanja Goodall is down again. Yellow card. Another yellow card brandished by Anthony Taylor. Not sure who for, to be honest. Goodall. And Ibanez still down in the box. See what happened. El Shawari put the ball in the box. And they both just collided. Don't think there's much in it, to be completely honest. No, nothing in that at all on Ibanez. Nothing. And a Campos. Penalised for a handball on the Roma left. So they've just put a cross in from the right. They've got a chance to put another one in now from the left. Roma with the last set of chances. As we're going to get more added on time. We're not going to just play the 6 now. Because both sets of medical staff are on to treat Goodall and Ibanez. Goodell, definitely struggling. Ibanez still down. He was down before as well. Still got some blood on his face from his elbow from Lamela before. So we played 5 minutes of the 6. We'll probably play until 128 now, more than likely. And Goodell, the centre-back, is just getting up now. Looks like Sevilla are going to make a change because Nemanja Goodell cannot continue. And they're going to have to bring on Marcao, the Brazilian centre-half. He's only made 10 previous appearances this season in all competitions. He struggled badly all season with thigh and hamstring injuries. He's only played 2 Europa League games, and both were against Manchester United, where he got injured in the second leg. So it looks like Nemanja Goodell will not be able to continue, the Serbian. He's killed a lot of time in this. We're definitely going to play another 2 or 3 minutes on top of the 6 that we've now played. We've now played the 6 added on minutes. Definitely a slow burner this extra time. Not quite met the standards of the first half. As there's the change. Nemanja Goodell. The centre-back is going to be replaced by the Brazilian Marcao. Like I mentioned before, not much football in him this season. He joined in the summer from Galatasaray for £10 million plus any add-ons. He's had obviously an unsuccessful first season with Sevilla with the injuries. He's got a chance to be a bit of a hero here because Sevilla have got a chance to put he's got a chance to be a defending hero because Sevilla's got to defend a Roma cross here from that free kick they gained on the left-hand side from the Ocampos throw-in, from the Ocampos handball. And there we go. We've played 7 minutes of added on time now, so we'll probably play until 130. I can't believe that some of these players are still actually able to walk. Because in the first half, we had 7 minutes of added on time. We played 52 minutes in the first half. So Marcao now allowed on. Brazilian centre-back. Joined from Galatasaray. 26 years of age. Spent 3 years at Galatasaray. Fernando struggling as well. With cramp, I believe. Oh, he's also going to be replaced. So 2 changes. Nemanja Goodell and Fernando come off for Marcao and Joan Jordan, the central midfielder. Played the full 90 minutes in Sevilla's Europa League win in 2020 against Inter Milan. He replaces Fernando for the last 2 or 3 minutes of this game. Can we get late drama? It's going to be a right-footed ball from the left-hand side. By Zalewski with the pink boots on. Finally, we get to restart this game. Two minutes and 45 seconds over the 6 added on. We're definitely playing another 3 or so minutes for sure, maybe even 4. Zalewski, ball in, punched away by Bono. Good goalkeeping. Goes to Ibanez, caught late. Lazy challenge from Lamela. And Ocampos is getting booked for back chat to the referee. Third free kick in a row now for Roma. It's Ibanez who took it nicely with the touch and tripped and caught by Eric Lamela. It's getting to a point now where you're getting to the end of extra time where you're getting all the players in the technical area entering the pitch whenever a decision's made. It's not hard. It's not easy to officiate these kind of games. It's awkward. Another brandished yellow card for someone who isn't on the pitch again from Anthony Taylor. I think they have dealt with this really well because It is hard to deal with as officials, with such passionate teams who just ask and want every single decision. But this is just on the edge of the box. On the right-hand side, Zalewski's over it again to take a third free kick in a row. We have now played 10 added minutes. We have played 130 minutes now, plus the 7 added on in the first half. That's 137 minutes. And then I'm not sure how much we added on in the end of the second half, but played nearly up to over 140 minutes of football. Absolutely ridiculous. And we could have penalties to come. Zalewski. Cross. Dangerous, but it's well met by En-Nesyri. And it's a corner kick for Roma. That was close. That was really close. It was towards the head of Cristante. But it was just missed by him. And it was well dealt with. Ball in again. Zalewski. Chris Morgan at the far post! Off the bar! And then behind by Cristante. Was that directly off the crossbar or did Bono get a touch? I'm not too sure, but Smalling hits the bar. Unmarked at the far post from the Zalewski corner. It was a good outswinger, but it hit the bar. We played 5 minutes added to the extra time we were given. 6 minutes were added on, and we've played 11. Goal kick from Bono. Header won by Bove. Always far is Bade for Sevilla. Campos lays it off to Montiel. Ball down the right channel and Anthony Taylor's blown. We have full time. After an absolutely ridiculous amount of time, we have now got penalties. Chris Smalling there with the late chance. It was directly off the crossbar. That's the only chance we got in this extra time, and it came with the last chance 10 minutes into the added on time into extra time. Smalling hit the crossbar. So close, but yet so far. It ends after 120 minutes plus the 10 added on. We played about 140 minutes of football here, and it ends Sevilla 1. Roma 1. Roma took the lead 34 minutes in with Paulo Dybala. And then it was all level for a Mancini own goal in the 55th minute. Chances for both sides in the second half. Neither could take the initiative and win the game. And in extra time, it's been pretty boring in terms of the football. It's been quite all over the place on the sidelines. We've had one chance, that was Chris Smalling at the end, who headed it onto the crossbar. So despite a lacklustre extra time, we did get that chance at the end with the crossbar, but overall it was a pretty shocking extra time. And we have penalties again. Third commentary in 4. In my last 4, I've had to deal with penalties. I'm not complaining at all, but it is tense. It is nervy. We'll go into penalties. Jose Mourinho has never lost a European final in the 5 that he's won and managed in. And Sevilla have never lost a Europa League final they've played. Played 6, won 6. One record is going to have to go. Someone's 100% record has to go. Roma don't have a great record in European finals, as I mentioned before. They lost the European Cup final in 1984 on penalties to Liverpool. They lost the UEFA Cup final in 1991 to Inter Milan. They got their first taste of major European silverware last season in the Europa Conference League to final. They've now got a chance to taste it again in the Europa League to gain themselves Champions League football. Same goes for Sevilla. A way to gain Champions League football and a 7th Europa League. They are the masters of this competition. It's in their blood. It's all they know how to win. It's all they usually win. But it's penalties they're having to rely on to win it. Both teams in huddles, as everyone finds out who's taking a penalty, when they're taking a penalty, what's the order, and let's see what side it will be taken down as well. Will it be in front of the Roma fans or the Sevilla fans? And who will take first as well? in the Europa League in his previous campaigns. Jose Mourinho has never had to deal with a penalty shootout. This is a first for him. Waiting for the captains to meet with referee Anthony Taylor to discuss and sort out who's taking first and by what end. So Mancini, the current Roma captain, meets with the two assistant referees and Anthony Taylor. Two assistant referees being Gary Beswick and Adam Nunn. Even in his time in the UEFA Cup, Jose Mourinho never had to deal with penalties. Obviously, it was rebranded to the Europa League in 2009. So when I mention Europa League, I mean just Europa League. I don't mean the UEFA Cup. Sevilla take first, I think, and I think they've also got it down their end as well. So could you say that is advantage Sevilla maybe? Possibly. Now the referee just discusses the rules with the two goalkeepers. Sevilla are definitely taking first penalty. Just saw a Sevilla man walk past the camera with the ball in his hands. Couldn't quite make out who it was. It's Lucas Ocampos to take the first penalty in the shootout in front of the Sevilla fans. So they're going to get the first kick and they're shooting in front of their supporters. Lucas Ocampos will be first to take. He's won one Europa League with Sevilla already in 2020, scoring in the quarter-final 1-0 win. Back in that run, he's now got the chance to put them 1-0 up here in the shootout to get Sevilla off to a good start. Ocampos against Patricio. Slots it down the left-hand side of the goal, sends Patricio the wrong way. Very calm penalty, 1-0 Sevilla. Good penalty from Ocampos. Last season as well, you might remember, between Eintracht Frankfurt and Rangers, that one also went to penalties as well. Where it was Aaron Ramsey, the one who missed a penalty to give Frankfurt the title last year. Cristante is first to take for Roma. Played the full 90 minutes in the Europa Conference League last season for Roma. He's now played the full game tonight in the Europa League final. To get it level on penalties after one each. Can he make it one each? Against Bono, the Moroccan goalkeeper. Scores, bottom left corner. Bono went the right way, but there was too much power on it. 1-1 after one each. Good solid penalty. Low and hard. Hard for them to be saved. Eric Lamela up next. The reason they are in this final, he scored the winner against Juventus in the semi-final second leg. Was brought on at half-time. Made an impact. They scored 10 minutes after the restart. Can he put them ahead in the penalties? Yes, he can. Just. Bottom right corner. Patricio went the right way, but it was so well placed that Patricio could not stop it from going in the back of the net. Good penalty. 2-1. Who is up next for Roma? It's the captain. It's Gianluca Mancini. He's already scored an own goal in this final. He did also provide the assist for the Dybala goal. He's been a hero. He's been a villain. Which one will he be this time? Mancini from the spot. Saved by the goalkeeper. Down the end where he scored the own goal. He's also now missed a penalty in the shootout. He tried to blast it down the middle, but the trailing legs of Bono saves. The Moroccan keeper dived to his left, but those trailing little legs that were left dangling down the centre of the goal stops it from going in. And the shootout stays at 2-1 to Sevilla after 2 taken for each. It's now the captain, Rakitic. Took the armband off Navas when he went off in extra time. He's won a Champions League in his career with Barcelona, Rakitic. He wants a Europa League with Sevilla. He's done it before with this club. He wants to do it again. And he scores his penalty. 3-1. Bottom left corner. Patricio went the wrong way. Advantage, Sevilla. He won 1 Europa League with Sevilla. Rakitic back in 2014. He wants to win his second in 2023. And if Roma don't score this one, Sevilla have a chance to win it with the next. It's Roger Ibanez. The number 3. One of his other centre-backs. Mancini's just missed a penalty. He needs this one to go in. The Brazilian has to score. There's no other option. Bono's pointing to Ibanez's left. That's where he strikes it, and that's where he hits the post. Roma miss again. The mind games from Bono is worked off, and Roger Ibanez misses the penalty for Roma, and it's 3-1 after 3 each. As I mentioned, just before he took the penalty, Bono was pointing that way, and that's the way he went. Oh, just a flick off the glove. I think it's a save. The slightest of flicks off the glove from Bono puts it onto the post. What a save. And this is to win it. It's number 2. Gonzalo Montiel. You can't write this. He scored the winning penalty for Argentina in the World Cup. He could score the winning penalty for Sevilla in the Europa League. And he hasn't! Big save, Patricio. And we continue in the shootout. He couldn't replicate his penalty scoring from the World Cup final. Oh, it's a poor penalty. He tried to go to the keeper's left, but it was an easy save in the end for Rui Patricio, and it's 3-1 still. But if Bono saves... Oh, there's a VAR check for the penalty. Oh, it's a retake. Patricio was off his line. Montiel's got his second chance. It's been retaken for encroachment. Oh, what a twist. What a twist. Montiel has got the chance to do it again. Will he go the same way? What will he do? He'll score for Sevilla. It's number 7. It's heaven for Sevilla in Europa League. He won Argentina the World Cup from the spot, and he wins Sevilla their 7th Europa League. Fans invade the pitch. It's heroic scenes in Budapest, and Sevilla win again. "2006, 2007, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2020, and 2023. Roma are absolutely devastated. They took it to the penalty kicks, but they couldn't convert the majority of the ones they took, and they paid the price. Montiel missed his first penalty, but Patricio came off his line, so he was able to retake. And that's where he put it in. The back of the net. 2 penalties. One in a World Cup final. One in a Europa League final. Both of them to win each game. And he converted both of them. He switched it up. He went to the left instead of the right. And in it went. Sevilla win again. Heartache, heartbreak for Roma. Jose Mourinho loses his first ever European final. He'd previously won 5 of his 5 European finals. It's now 5 out of 6. And Sevilla still have not lost a Europa League final. In 2006, they beat Middlesbrough. In 2007, they beat Espanyol on penalties. In 2014, they beat Benfica on penalties. In 2015, they beat FC Dnipro of Ukraine. In 2016, they beat Liverpool. In 2020, they beat Inter Milan. And in 2023, they've beaten Roma. What is it with Sevilla and the Europa League? Navas has won his 4th with the club now. It's a match not even made in heaven. It is just something else. The way Sevilla constantly win this competition is absolutely ridiculous. 7 Europa Leagues. There's 3 teams, I think, who are next in line who have won 3. I know one of them is Liverpool, I think. They've won 4 more than the next in line in terms of most Europa League wins. It's ridiculous. They won 3 in a row from 2014 to 2016 under Unai Emery. They just can't help but win the competition. They're 11th in La Liga. They're not even up there in their own league. But somehow this competition just brings the best out of them. It's ridiculous. 4-1 it ends on penalties. Sevilla celebrate. They finally were able to get their fans off the pitch pretty quickly. And there it is. It's getting written again. Their name on the trophy again. It's predictable at this point. They love this competition, and I think the competition loves them as well. Montiel on the retake. He even looked which way he was going as well. He didn't make it. He didn't try to bluff Patricio. He looked which way he was going. And Roma lose. They had the Europa Conference League success last season, but they couldn't quite make Europa League success this season. They'll have to battle on the last day for Europa League football with Juventus because they can't get in reach of Champions League football. And if they don't win at the weekend, they could possibly be in the Conference League again. But penalties, it's the worst way to lose. But I think overall, possibly, you could say it's just edged Sevilla's way. They probably just about deserved it, possibly. But it's a pretty even game, to be fair. I've thoroughly enjoyed this final. It's had everything. It's had, your... I don't know what word to use because I was going to swear. I can't do that. It's had your dirty tactics. It's had your dark arts. It's had some good football. It's had an own goal. It's had yellow cards left, right and centre. We've had a penalty given, then ruled out for VAR. We've had a penalty just not given for a handball, which some people think it is handball. Some people didn't think it was. The game had everything. It was a fantastic final. It's been decided on penalties, and it's Sevilla, the team, to win it again, as Roma mourn the loss of this final in front of their supporters. As overall, it will probably be a failure of a season. Looks like they're going to finish 6th again in the league. No Champions League football. A chance of no Europa League football as well. They're not guaranteed 6th as well. Juventus are just sniffing behind them. But they'll have to get over this loss pretty quick because they've got league football to focus on against Spezia at home. Their last league game of the season. But for Sevilla, they're in 11th in the league. But they won't care because they've got Champions League football through this Europa League victory. So they will relax at the weekend against Sociedad away. They won't care. They know they're in Champions League next season, and they've done it through the Europa League again, not for the first time, and it probably won't be for the last. Started the season in the Champions League, knocked out of their group stage after finishing behind the likes of Manchester City and Borussia Dortmund, but they were relegated to the Europa League, where they beat PSV in the playoffs. They then went on and beat Fenerbahce in the round of 16, conquered Manchester United, defeated Juventus, and back-to-back opponents. They've been a battalion and they've beat them both. And it ends after extra time. Sevilla won. Roma won. 4-1 on penalties to the Spanish side. It's 7. And it certainly is Europa League heaven for the Spanish side. That is going to be the end of the commentary as well. Because how long has this been? How long? 3.5 hours. Wow. Great commentaries. Thank you. Thank you for the commentary. I appreciate it. Have a good break and keep up the good work next season. Thank you very much. This is the last of this season. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you're back for next season. Keep checking the channel. July, August time when I return. I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 commentaries a week. It's going to be full steam ahead next season. There's going to be loads of content. Make sure you're here for it. But for the end of this season, we finish on the Europa League final where it's Sevilla to take glory against AS Roma. It took penalties, but penalties is the worst way to lose. It's the best ways to win. Sevilla win. It's their 7th Europa League. Roma defeated. Mourinho defeated. But for Sevilla, it's their 7th Europa League title, and they win it again in style.